From Ford Video Guy Studio in Salina, Kansas, it's McArthur Live with Tim Bartz and Sarah Davis. For all the information on ordering and production, Ford news, recalls, debunking all the fake news on social media, and whatever's on their mind, here's your hosts, Tim and Sarah. How's everybody doing tonight? So this is episode, I don't even know what we're on, 146, 147? Anyway, one something. We're up there. It says it in the thumbnail. So check it out. As well as if you're listening to this on a podcast, you'll see it does have the episode number there, so you'll know. But yeah, we're here. We're in a beautiful summer days now. We're in the summer now, which is kind of what brought up the title of this week's episode. Of course, we'll get into all the scheduling news, the Ford news updates, recalls, all that good stuff as well. But then we'll get into talking about road tripping with your Ford vehicle. And maybe you're pulling a camper, maybe you're pulling a boat, maybe you're put some kayaks on the top, maybe camping a tent or a tent on your Maverick or Ford vehicle. We're going to have some fun talking about road tripping this summer because it is summertime. It's vacation time, right? So yeah, you've already had yours. You did it right out the gate. So we're going to talk about that tonight. So hope you guys enjoyed that. So how's it going?
Pretty good.
Go hooked up and connected?
Yeah, we're going.
All right. So so let's see, what else did you do this weekend? Anniversary this weekend?
Mm-hmm.
6, right?
Yep.
Got that right. 6th anniversary.
Yeah.
So
went to Grandma and Grandpa's, watched a movie. You guys watched The Boys for a Saturday night so we could go have dinner.
Yeah.
If you haven't been to the library, it's a really good place, kid friendly, and they have good food.
Okay. That's near Kansas Wesleyan.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's called the library.
It's called the library, but it's not a library.
No, it's not. It's a bar and grill.
It's kind of a bar and grill, yeah.
But it's kid friendly with a patio.
Yeah.
It's really nice. Yeah.
I've driven by there. Never been in.
I went in once. We were there when it first opened. But we've been there a few times. We really like it. Good food, good drinks, really nice people. Not too crowded.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So anyway, we'll get into some of that good stuff here. Just let's see this weekend. What did I do? We went hiking. We went. Let's see. Saturday we watched your kiddos. Saturday night. They did good. They played outside, and Jeff and I were playing Forza. I don't know. That's that racing game. Anyway, we were trying to figure out how to drift the car in the game. Anyway, so we did that a little bit in the evening, and then Sunday we went over to Gary County Fishing Lake,
Yes.
and they have a waterfall over there. So let me see if I can actually pull up the images. Where did I put those? Oh, they're right here. See, do I have those? Yeah, here we go. I pull these up. If I can figure out what. I'm moving things around this week, and now it's throwing me off because of it. All right. Here, remove this one for a second. So, yeah, so that's pretty cool. So there are waterfalls in Kansas, believe it or not. There's like 5 or 6 that are secluded. You got to kind of hike to get to them, and this one is a little bit of a hike, but not much of one. Anyway, it's a small fishing lake. Oh, I don't think motorized boats can be on it because it looks like there's a bunch of kayaks out there, but that was about it on the lake. But you come down and you walk across the dam. And I'm like, well, I'm not sure where we're supposed to go, but we're just going to follow this trail. And I'm like, I can hear the water, the rushing water. And you get down to the end of the trail or across the dam and just a little walk, you can see this from the top. And I go, oh, that's pretty cool. But that's not the view that I saw on the website that they had found. But there was another trail that took you further down, about a 4-minute hike down. And I clicked the wrong one. And you see that view, which is pretty cool. So believe it or not. So that's pretty cool. So a lot of that, and really how much it flows is depending on when it rained last, because it had just rained pretty good this last week. And so there was a lot of water coming down. So depending on, when it rains, because that water is, most of it's coming kind of from the lake, but really from the river and the ground near it. So it kind of all the from the farms and such, and it just kind of comes down off of there, and so that's pretty cool. So then got a picture of the wife and I, so in front of it, so pretty cool. And then it creates a rowing stream that's pretty nice too. So I don't know if I got a picture of that or not, but there you go.
Yeah,
there's that. So we did that Sunday evening, so that was kind of fun. So there you go. But yeah, there's that. So that's what we did Sunday. So
yeah.
So I do have mail here from somebody that sent me some Bronco stickers. I have a couple that I still am waiting to get from people. Should get those pretty soon, but this came in from, this is Broncos of Texas on Instagram. Well, that's what their hashtag was. And it does, actually, it's that they hashtagged Broncos of Texas, and this is the way. But they're Beskar Bronco. I don't know if I'm saying that right. There you go. There's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, Baby Yoda.
Yeah, and some other stickers here.
Grogu.
As well. Pretty cool. Actually, I think I got that upside down. I think it's supposed to be like that. So very cool. And then, and here's her other one.
The Mandalorian.
So there you go. There's those two. Pretty cool. So anyway, and then also a Mustang. That's more the Mustang than the Bronco. So depending on things work out, I might be taking delivery of a Mustang Mach-E, as long as my payment's lower from what I'm paying now, which is probably going to happen. Then I'd be able to use that. So anyway, so cool. So, and then we've sent a bunch out to people, right?
Yeah, Alakiani Ford. That's
Laura.
Laura.
Yes.
Thank you. Laura says she needs to send you her new ones.
And we have the ones. Oh, I have those here.
I have one.
So we have patches that are coming. And then I got like 10 stickers from Sticker Mule. So we have that. That's actually not the sticker, not the patch is going to look like, because the Ford Video Guy is not like that. I selected the wrong one, but I have a couple of them. But, the Ford Video Guy underneath the Bronco. But there you go, from Kansas. So not too many people from Kansas probably doing Bronco stickers. So if you're needing, like, I'm trying to collect all the states, because I got some of these patches here from people who are putting their states on them. And so I'm trying to collect some of them that have the states on there so that I can get all 50 states. So if people looking for Kansas, they're probably going to need to search out us, because so we may be the only one having the Kansas on there. But there you go. Anyway, so there you go. Pretty cool. So there's that. Let's see what else is going on. Not much else, I think. The mach-e GT Rally came in. Again, it looks cool. Did drive it. Jeff drove it home tonight so that I could bring the Bronco home, and then I'll bring it back tomorrow. We'll see. Kind of more of a test drive, but it is wicked fast. It is so cool. Takes corners pretty fast as well. I think we were taking corners 40 miles an hour. I mean, I'm talking sharp corners.
So when do I get to drive it?
Tomorrow. So anyway, it definitely is pretty awesome. So pull that up to show a picture of that. So there's that.
I gotta say, I do like the blue.
So
I
grabber
usually
blue.
don't like the bright blues, but I do like it on the mach-e with the black stripes.
I was on the fence on different colors. I didn't want the yellow, and the glacier gray was like, I don't know. So, but the grabber blue definitely did it for me there. So, let's see what else. Do I have more pictures? So yeah, I have that there because it finally came in. So if somebody were following me on social, it was supposed to come in Thursday, and then didn't. Then it said it would be here Friday. Then it said it'd be Saturday. Then it'd be Sunday. Then it would be Monday. And then this morning I got up and I looked at it, and it said it was on the road, and now it could be anytime this week. So I'm like, oh, I'll just bring the Bronco then, because I was driving the Maverick in each day. And then the one day I drove the Bronco, it came in. So, but anyway, so yeah, we'll see. Can't see that. We'll see how things pan out, but should be good there. We'll see. The leases are really cheap on the mach-e right now. So if you're looking to get a mach-e, now is a good time. They lowered the prices on them. I mean, the mach-e GT Rally, that price lowered $5,000. The lease rate is like close to 0%. It's like 0.17% for like 39 months or 36 months. It's just, and there's $3,000 rebate as well for the GTs. GT Rally is $3,000. I think GTs have 1 or 3. So it's super cheap lease rates. And, because of the add-ons on the Maverick should be in pretty good shape to lower the payment. So I think as long as that happens, of course, wife and I will discuss it tonight and everything, but that probably should work. We had talked already about just getting rid of the Maverick and not having the vehicle payment, but it's kind of nice having the Bronco as an extra vehicle. So that way, whoever wants to have fun in the Bronco top down day and that kind of stuff, they can take it. So we'll, I don't know. It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to not have that extra vehicle. So anyway, so we'll just see how things play out.
Anthony said, cool color, but why the steelies or the white wheels?
That is rally wheels. So.
But the stripes on it are the rally stripes, right?
Culpepper. The stripes are, well, they say mach-e Rally on the side, and then the stripes are over the top stripes. I mean,
but that's part of the rally package. Yeah. So why put black stripes and accents with those wheels?
There's white accents too on it. On the hood. There's some white accents too coming down.
Okay.
But white and white there, and then
it disrupts the look a little bit.
Go with the mach-e wheels. I mean the Maverick wheels.
Right. What were you saying about
the gray?
ML Culpepper?
He rally races.
Yes, I know.
He would know exactly why you get a rally style wheel like that. So yep. Yeah. Definitely that performance. Woo, that thing is super fast. And really comfortable. It's got nice suede interior. I'm gonna do either way. Even if I don't get it, I'm gonna do a nice little walk around test drive video on the vehicle, and experience and my thoughts on it and everything. And so I'm a big EV proponent. It's not something that I'm going to use it as something I'm going to drive out of town a lot, right? Mm-hmm. Most of the time we go to town, we take the Expedition, or we're going to take the Bronco if we're going to go off-roading, that kind of thing. Very rarely will I take the mach-e, so it's for what's the use. But what I like about electric vehicles is how they perform, how they drive, and how smooth they are, how quiet they are, how just overall, just the smoothness. no
Yeah.
shifting and no hesitation. It's
Yeah.
it's there. You go and you let off the gas. It's braking. It's
Hmm.
it's just the
I saw our
performance of the
Bronco
vehicle.
Sports are almost close to 10 off. Maybe not quite 10, but they're really down.
Bronco. We have a Bronco that's 10 off.
Right. But the Bronco Sport Heritage editions are all pretty far down. And I was like, that would be nice. They're all under 30.
We got to move some inventory. We
I
got to
know,
sell
but
some units.
that would be nice. But at the same time, I really like the fuel economy of my C-Max.
Here's the real deal. We're doing well in our region, but we have to, now that we don't have Mavericks, we've been selling 50, 60 Mavericks a month. We're out of
It's a
Mavericks.
third of our sales.
We're out of Mavericks. So we got to sell something. So we have a lot of trucks, a lot of F-150s that are like over $10,000 off. We have 2 Broncos that are $10,000 off, believe it or not,
Mhm.
because they're kind of up there in age and how long we've had them. So they've got to go. So we're pricing them down. They had some of the hail damage. They're pretty light, and we'll fix it if you want. If you want it fixed, then it was $9,000 off instead.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's pretty. I mean, we got to sell them.
Yeah.
So F-150s are crazy. You did the pricing, pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Those Bronco Sport Heritage Editions, we've had those for a little while. I think we did well with the first, several that we got. So we ordered a bunch more, and they finally came in, and now they've kind of like teetered off. Now they're not as popular. Everglades, my fear with our Bronco Everglades that we have in was that we did really well at the first 2. They sold within 24 hours. Both of them did. So when we could order more, we ordered them, but it took 3 months to get here. So I was like, hopefully it hasn't, cooled off.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the first one we got in sold within 2 days. So I don't know, but we have 6 in stock right now. I think 3 of them are pictured, and they look nice. I mean, and we have those $2,500 off right now.
Yeah,
of MSRP. So, pretty good deal on Everglades, and they're a pretty cool vehicle too. So,
yeah.
Anyway, we got some pricing. Anyway, so there's that. So let's see what else. Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta keep looking at my notes. See what else. This week, recent videos, we talked about on the Maverick yesterday on Maverick Monday. We talked about the new front ends. We've seen some images of all 3 of the trim levels and what they look like, what the grills look like, bumpers look like, everything else. The wheels on a couple of them, we see XL with eruption green. That's out there. So yeah, some images of all those from the stream or from that. If I got to kick back over.
Laura says we can have their Bronco Raptor.
If it's a 23, I don't want it.
It's a 24.
Oh, all right. So you got this in here. So that's the eruption green with the Steelies XL. So it looks like that front bumper cover is going to be a thing. Do like the grill. I kind of talked about this in yesterday's video, so check that out. And you can kind of see what those look like. Yeah, pretty cool there.
I do like eruption green on the Maverick.
It looks good. A lot of people have been waiting for that color. I'm not sure if I was going to go right into the next. And then we got XLT. So there you go. We think this is a black appearance package because it's got a black roof, black mirror caps, black emblems, black wheels. So and the XLT is in black on the fender badge. So pretty safe to say it's an XLT black appearance package.
Very much the black appearance package.
Yep. So when you're looking here,
that bumper almost looks painted.
So okay, so somebody else had mentioned that. Mabseb had mentioned that. If you look at the Lariat one where it's silver, if you look at this and it's black in those areas.
Again,
so the question is on a regular XLT, will it have that color like the XLT does, or I mean like the Lariat does? So we'll have to see there. But anyway, let's see. I think I have some pictures of the Lariat here. Got a couple of the Lariat. So there's a Lariat. These are all from Maverick Truck Club. In yesterday's video, I gave 100% credit. This is where I found these, but you can see there on that Lariat, that front where it's on the outside. You can kind of see that silver there. So it looks like it's black on that XLT, but it could be because it's a black appearance package. So, and
the
so
antenna is a shark fin.
yeah, was it not like that?
No, it was different.
Okay, so there's a little antenna that screws into. So I think all the Mavericks have a shark fin, but then you have an antenna that screws into it. Yes. And I think on these, maybe that antenna is just not screwed in.
Or it's a covered shark fin.
I don't know. So I got all these on my computer, so I got to go out of them to go into there.
They're like, how many hours can you get in your mach-e if you drive with a heavy foot? Not as many.
So you can kind of see this one here does have the little antenna sticking up out of it. So I still think it's the way that. Now I want to look at a Maverick.
Where's your Maverick?
Where's the 24 Maverick? It's at home. I think this looks a little different, but I still think it has the same concept of it's a fin with that antenna that comes out the top. I don't think that's much different. So, but not like we'll have a choice anyway. It'll be what it is. I mean, so anyway, so there's that. We did a video on that. Need to do a video on the F-150 LMX4 package that we do here. Tires, level kit, on the XLT, sweet leather interior that matches pretty much looks just like the Roush. In fact, Roush works with cat skin. We work with cat skin. So it's pretty much the same leather with a few little tweaks, and we put it on instead of, Top King puts it on instead of Roush putting theirs on. So there could be some quality there now on how well it was put on. Roush does a lot of those. Anyway, so there's that. And then I think that's all the videos coming. So, yeah, I think that's it. I did a video that I'll have go live here probably tomorrow night from my personal channel on the attic tray. So I put that on a couple weekends ago and showed some images I will show some images tonight or tomorrow on this attic tray. So we had this put on a couple weekends ago. Is that the video? No, that's the one. Okay. So I can show that off. So I put that in the Bronco. And so that sits up high. And then you pull the little things on the side and then it pops down here. So pretty cool. So it's it allows you to stow that stuff out of the way, which I really like. So that's pretty cool. So, and I think I might have a video on this. Yes, here's the video. Hold it up. So pretty cool. Put all the big stuff. All the stuff was in those side windows that I had. Now we're in there and it's tucked out of the way and it's not in the cargo. Take up any of the cargo, and that's pretty cool. I really like that. So anyway, so that video I'll have coming on my personal channel as well. And I think they have someone that did an install, but I have some really good, I think, close-up angles of where you attach everything and what you do. So I think the install video that I did will be something that Mountains to Metal will probably resource and use for those that get those and install them. But it was one of the easiest installs that I've done. So they did a very good job on that. So we'll definitely give shout outs to them and do all the posting and everything to Instagram for them. So they cut me a deal on that. So there you go. Yeah. That's all that good stuff. Okay. All right. Don't forget about membership, right?
Yes.
Talk about that.
If you'd like to become a member, it is right there beside the subscribe button. This is a join button. If you have an iPhone or an Apple device, you may have to do things a little bit differently. You need to go to your web browser, go up to the little A and big A, and request desktop browser. At that point, you should be able to see it. Membership includes a weekly live stream. If we're in town, sometimes we don't do it. A lot walk most Saturdays. We kind of treat it like a little vlog. So if we're on a trip or something, we'll post a special member video. On your lot box, you kind of talk about what's on your mind, get a little bit more in depth into things. We also do membership packets. So if you join us as a member, fill out the Google form I have posted. You'll be able to see it once you become a member. It's in our posts. When you see that, you'll be able to fill that out, and I'll be able to send you a new membership packet.
That's right. There you go.
Yeah. Is that all?
Fun stuff. Yeah. And member shout outs on the live stream.
Yes.
Should we do that?
Yes. All right. Justin, print up, just so you know, I do have your question pulled aside. We have Elizabeth here with us tonight. Terry Monroe. I know he's coming to the Maverick meetup.
Cool.
We have Alan here. Bucko, good evening, everyone. Ridgeview is one of our moderators, and it looks like he's been in the chat with us. He's having some spotty connection, so he may be in and out with us. But he helps us keep the chat nice and safe. Nice. He keeps it nice. Let's see. We have Mike McArthur, which people keep confusing him because Ridgeview talks about Mike Mole, and that's MM. And you have Mike M, Mike McArthur.
Yep.
So they keep confusing him for Mike Mole.
Mm-hmm.
He is not. He is our wonderful Mike M from Florida. And he says, nice day here, top down on the Mustang.
He's actually from Tennessee.
Tennessee. Thank you. I knew it was over in that general direction. Our quib. Heck, it's Tuesday, Schmooze Day. We have Anthony. Hello, Tim and Sarah. Congrats on the mach-e rally showing up today. We have Bud Guy 8829. What's my computer doing? There we go. We have Mike Lyons in here. See Midcoast, Maine, and he's going to be joining us for dinner and when we go to Maine.
Yeah. Cool.
Yep. At DeMillo's. We have Francis. Hi, everyone. Finally some rain today, but wicked hot. Can't wait to get home next month. We also have Anthony. Hello, fellow Ford enthusiasts, and he's been a member for 14 months.
Wow.
Jack Evans, happy anniversary. We have Randy Akers here. He celebrated his anniversary yesterday. Recently.
Cool.
As did Alkiani or Laura.
Yep.
We have Steve Young here. Evening, everyone. We have Bucko. Tim will have a new segment to the show called Tim's Tickets.
Tickets.
Mach-e rally might get you in some trouble. Bud Guy does have a question. Do you have to have a special charger to charge the Mustang Mach-e at home?
Not really. Just make sure you order the mobile cord to be able to do that.
Yep.
It's extra now.
But if you have an RV plug-in or like a what am I thinking about? The farmers usually have their saws. They usually have a 240 outlet for that, and so you can use that.
Yeah, 240 will work. So a lot of people have they had
a shop.
They had a dryer that was maybe in the garage at one time. They moved inside. They still have that out there. Then it would work. Welders, I guess, they use those.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, we have Brian Foster. Hello from Southern California. We have Harley Quinn. Will the dealership be upset with you if you don't take the Mach-e after ordering it?
Mm-mm. No.
It's the first Mach-e out there.
Yeah.
Or Mach-e rally out there. Is Niles around tonight? I haven't seen him.
He's been on vacation.
Oh, that's right.
So.
If he doesn't join in, that's okay. All right. Those are the members I have starred. Alan says he pretty much has his route to the meetup complete. We'll be going out into the desert.
There you go. He was here last year. He's coming from Oregon, I believe.
Alan's coming back. Terry is coming back.
Oh, cool.
Richie's coming back.
Cool.
So
We'll talk about that later
yeah.
because when we're going to talk about road trips. That'll come into play. We'll talk about that a little bit too, and hopefully some of you road trip to Salina, and we'll talk a little bit about that and plans for the meetup and stuff like that. So,
Did I miss you, BM Smothers? I'm so sorry. Sometimes when I'm tagging him and I'm a bit behind on the chat, I don't get everyone. I try my best.
there we go. Yeah. So thank you to all the members, and
Thank you.
yeah, it's always fun. So yeah. All right, that's about that. That on that. There's Henry. Henry's in here. How many members are you up to? Well, I don't know. We usually roll right around 200 to something. I don't know.
I think we're about 230, between
Somewhere.
230 and 260.
Somewhere around there. So, all right. Okay. So, we'll continue on. Let's see what's on our agenda here. Don't forget about the different other channels that we like to kind of watch. I was on watching All Train Nation last night with Dave and Kelly, and Allie was over there. And then, of course, on Sunday nights, of course, he also brings us out separate episodes throughout the week. John is Car Camera Reviews. He jumps in. You guys have probably seen him in the chat if you're in here live with us, or if you watch the recording and you pull up. You can watch the recording. You can pull up the chat too. Didn't know if a lot of you knew that. I make sure if I don't edit the live stream, that's why there's still that 2 minutes before even on the recording, is because if I edit it, then I lose all of the chat. So I make sure that stays unedited. So then you guys, if you watch the recording, you can still see the chat and what the chat was saying and what all the community was saying in there. So you can always, you probably have seen him in there. And then last night I watched Bird Dog off-road, not overland, off-road now. He is now in Arizona, and he went on a trail that looked really fun. Go down to Arizona at some point. Anyway, that was kind of fun. And I did my video on going on the trails at Tuttle Creek, and I just sped it up. I think I'm going to do more what he does in the future. We'll just take out some segments and have that in real time. So you can kind of hear the engine and such like that and what it sounds like. So I think I'm going to change it up. I think the video, I'm not real 100% happy with how that video went yesterday, or the video that went live yesterday on my personal channel. So, but check that out too, Ford Video Guy, which is linked as well down below. All right. And let's see who else. And then there's some others in there. Driven Wild Outdoors as well. He's actually jumped in recently in the chat. He's got Broncos. He's got, I think he still has a Dark Horse Mustang too. So anyway, so check those different channels out. Plus a lot of our other members that have channels like RagnarCon and some of those. And there's a bunch of them. Links are down below.
Brandon Jones.
Check this out.
No, he started an Instagram for his Maverick.
Yeah. Check his, what's it? Dennis the Menace.
Yeah, Dennis the Menace.
NWA or something. So.
Anyway.
Yeah,
because the storms just keep either trying to attract storms or it's trying to avoid the storms.
Yeah. So as long as you're in it, I think you're going to be safe. Anyway. All right. So we'll get into, you have a good dealer moment?
I do.
All right. Well, then let's
run that slide. All right. So we have one from Syracuse, New York, Davidson Ford of Clay, and Matt Rupp was the salesperson. Responded to an email inquiry promptly, thank you, Ashley, and connected with me with a salesman. Set the time to visit, 120 miles away. Matt Rupp greeted me and explained their Maverick allotments and where I would be placed in their order bank. I did design build on July 17th, and they placed the order with Ford. Was built in November and delivered in January. I was at our winter home and would not return until May. They ordered me another one, and it was waiting for me when I returned. They accepted X-Plan, no hidden fees or dealer added gimmicks, paid X-Plan price, sales tax, registration, and the X-Plan dock fee of $175. Highly recommended.
There you go. All right.
So Matt Rupp at, where is it? Davidson Ford of Clay in New York.
Cool. We need to add that link to that into our note show, like the down in the description. But man,
I can start
I'm having
doing
a hard
that.
time. I noticed yesterday's video, I had a hard time like coming up with my words. And so I was like, then I started doing the thing again, like I used to
Mhm.
back in the day. And I'm like, I need to get my words ahead of what's going on. But when I do that, sometimes it's because what word am I looking for? So anyway, but we need to put those in the description or show notes so everybody can see those. So we'll start. I'll put a link in there. We have that for the recalls. So if you ever like need to know where to go to see if there's a recall on your vehicle, I have the link in the description as well for that under the recall section. So all the agenda is in there with timestamps. Once we're done with it, before I go home, I put the timestamps in there as well. So, all right, we'll get into scheduling notes. I need to do that. I need to add this camera over here. We'll do that here. Give me a second. Let me tweak this. This is the first week of scheduling for August build dates, which is really cool. So there's a lot of fun stuff to talk about this week. So let's go ahead and add this up and go on over. Throw the slide up. Okay, so scheduling for this week, we're going to get into this again. This is the first week for scheduling for August build dates. So this will be some good stuff here. And for people that have especially been waiting for new allocations to refresh, this is the week that those come into play for your dealer that's getting new allocations for this month. There we go. So start off. Let's go with this slide. Oh, forgot to get Jeff to fix those typos. All right. We'll get this. We'll go through this. So first off, the order bank. That is where the orders are placed, stock and retail orders. And a retail order is a customer placed order. So that's one that Ford knows, hey, that's a sold one because it's a customer placed it. And then there's a stock order. That is an order that is placed by the dealer for stock or lot inventory. Now, retail can become a stock order or a vehicle once it comes in if that customer decides not to take it. And so that happens, sometimes. Priority code, that's a priority given to a deal to the orders by the dealer. Retail orders are given anywhere from a 03 to 19, and then stock orders are given 20 to 80. Lower the better. So that's why the retail orders are always looked at before a stock order. Now, scheduling, this is what we're talking about for this week. That's when Ford schedules an order for production dates in the future. They usually schedule a couple months in advance. We're talking, this is June here. We're talking about August production dates, which is 2 months in advance for a lot of those. So they'll schedule for the first of the week, and then as they get closer, it'll get scheduled to the day. Allocations. Now, Ford gives dealers allocations to schedule their orders. So, like I said, this is the first week for new allocations for the dealer. Every dealer gets a set of allocations based on their sales volume within that model. So, for us, we don't have the same amount of allocations for every model. Mustang has a few this week or this month. Escape, we have like 2. Bronco Sport, we have just 2. Bronco, we have 8. So it depends on how we sell different models and how many allocations we're going to get. Every dealer is the same way. Not all dealers will get the same number of allocations for each of the models. Again, it depends on how well they sell those models. Constraints, that's where an option may be in a short supply or take longer to build. So if, the supplier has having issues getting what they plan to give to them, that's where you have a constraint. Capacity, that's the planned production rate of a given motor, trim, or option. Ford knows when they start that model year, job 1 or job 2, what their production is, and they get those parts accordingly. If there's more orders than what they plan, that's where that comes in. That's where that constraint comes in. We have job 1 and job 2. That's where they split that production into 2 different runs. If they want to introduce some new features or product or something like that, they'll do that in a job 2. Balance out. That's the end of production or balance out for a particular option model or sometimes for that model year and when they want to reset. And actually, we have that happening in a couple different models that we're going to talk about. All right. So let's get into first one, the 24 model year Mustang. There's currently 1,047 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank. The order banks are open up for most models or most trim levels with the exception of the Dark Horse. The Dark Horse order banks are closed for retail ordering. If a dealer gets a stock allocation for a Dark Horse, they can put in a stock order. So that's how they would go ahead and still be able to fulfill that allocation. They are scheduled this week for production weeks of 8/5 through 8/26. Retail scheduling only for this week. So they want to make sure those retail orders get scheduled first. So they'll just look for those and then use the rest of allocations for any stocks to fulfill the rest of those allocations the following weeks. It says, important note, to speed up the scheduling of orders with the Night Pony package, we encourage the dealers to modify their orders by selecting shadow black paint. So it's a lot easier because then they just paint the whole body instead of just the roof a different color. It does say Mustang Night Pony package with the black shadow roof is only available for retail scheduling and is currently not eligible for stock ordering. Also, GT Performance package is retail only as well. So, limited availability for the black painted roof, as we mentioned. That's option 43S, as well as a shadow silver painted aluminum wheel. That's a 19 by 8.5 inch. That's wheel 64V on your order. Also, wheel 64G is limited availability. That is a 19 by 9 in the front, 19 by 9.5 in the rear, carbonized gray painted aluminum wheel. Exhaust availability for the 5.0 liter V8 engine. So that is struggling a little bit for this week. So again, retail onlys. Mustang Night Pony package, also exhaust availability. The 18 by 8.5 ebony black painted aluminum wheel, also exhausted. The 235/50 ZR18 all season tire, as well as the 19 by 8.5 premium polished aluminum wheel and the 20 by 9 inch premium painted aluminum wheel. Those are all exhausted availability on the Mustang. All right, moving on to the 24 model year Escape. There's currently 391 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank for the Escape. Order banks are open up, but actually they closed. Retail ordering closed. Stock ordering is still open. So on the Escape, 6/6 is when they close the order banks. It says in here for plug-in and hybrid, but I believe they closed it for all motors, even the gas motors, but still have it open for stock. So that way, if somebody does come in, dealers can still fulfill their allocations by being able to put stock orders in. They are scheduled this week for the weeks of 8/5 through 9/9. And you might ask why into September when this is only August. It's because this is balance out for the Escape for the 24 model year. So 9/9, it's the week of 9/9 is what they're building. That's the last week they're going to build a 24 model year is the week of 9/9. So this is it. So if you're wanting that, you can't get a retail order anymore, but get to your dealership to get a stock one, or there's plenty on dealer lots. We have several different configurations on our lot as well. Next is a 24 model year Bronco Sport. Currently 186 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank. The order banks are open for all trim levels. I believe Badlands is retail only. They don't say that in here, but I don't believe we can order a Badlands as a stock order right now. They are scheduled this week for the weeks of 8/5 through 8/26, so August and build dates. It is retail scheduling only for this first week. That's all I have for that. Next up is the 24 model year Bronco. It's currently 1,573 unscheduled retail orders. So 1,500 is all we have in the order bank there. Order banks are open up for most trim levels. Here's some breakdown of some that have closed. Heritage Limited Edition are closed completely. The Heritage Limited 4-doors balanced out. They're not building any more Heritage 4-doors. Heritage Limited 4-doors, I should say. So they're done building those. Order banks are closed for the Heritage and the regular Heritage Edition 4-door, but they are open for Heritage Edition 2-door orders. And we do have 2 of those that are previewing this week. So I can tell you, not only are the order banks open for the Heritage Edition 2-door, they are scheduling those Heritage Edition 2-doors as well for production dates in August. There you go. Everglades is closing this week. So 6/14 Everglades order banks are closing. It did say stock and retail. So normally they leave stock open, but not in this case. Everglades stock and retail are going to be closing this week. They are scheduled this week for the weeks of 8/5 through 8/26. Only scheduling for Raptor, Heritage Limited, Heritage, and Everglades. So those are the specialty builds that they're scheduling for this week. Important note there, it does say 4-door Heritage Limited balanced out. for 24 model year. Everglades will balance out on Friday, June 14th, which we just mentioned. So, all right. So get those orders in if you want. Next up is the 24 model year Mach-E. There's currently 55 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank. They are scheduling, or their order banks are open up for all trim levels, including GT, GT Rally, Select, and Premium. They are scheduled this week for the weeks of 8/5 through 8/26. Retail scheduling only for this week. Again, they like to do that. Just they want to get the retails first in there, and then they'll fill the rest of those allocations for dealers with those stock orders after that. And if there's retails that come in after that that weren't there for this week, they will look at those first, of course, but then move on. So next up is the 25 model year Explorer. Order banks are open up for the 25 Explorer. And they currently have 626 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank. They are scheduled for the weeks of 8/5 through 8/26. Retail scheduling only, just like the other models. Limited availability for the 20-inch carbonized gray painted aluminum wheel that's optional on the Active Comfort package. That's wheel 64Y. And then exhausted availability for the 18-inch 5-spoke sparkle silver painted aluminum wheel, which is standard on Active. So if you had to choose between that, you wanted an Active trim, limited availability is better than exhausted. So you'd want to go with the Active Comfort and add that 20-inch wheel because that gets you a better chance of getting it. Or you can look at maybe an ST line. 20-inch luster nickel painted aluminum wheel, which is available on the Active 200A, standard on Platinum. 600A is also exhaust availability, and the 21-inch dark alloy painted aluminum wheel, which is available on the Ultimate package and on the Platinum 600A, is also exhausted availability. All right, that's all I have for that. Next up is the 24 model year Expedition. Currently 432 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank. The order banks are open up for the 24 model year still. They are not scheduling this week. So this is unusual. Usually you will see that at least the first week they'll schedule, but they are not on the Expedition this week. So no notes on anything there. Next up is a 24 model year Maverick. Currently 8,100 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank. Order banks are open up for all trim levels, even the XLT Lariat trimmer. They are scheduled this week for the weeks of 8/5 through 8/26. Retail scheduling only this first week. Limited availability for the front wheel drive, the XL trim, the splash guards, front and rear, the bed extender, which is optional on all series, and the XLT tire, the 225/65 R17 tire. So those are limited availability. We did notice on ours, we have 3 allocations this month that all 3 of the ones that we're previewing to be scheduled were all Lariat trim level. So if that tells you something. All right. Next up is the 24 model year Ranger. Currently 1,186 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank. The order banks are open up for all trim levels, including Raptor. Make sure your dealer knows they have to have a Raptor allocation or it won't get scheduled anyway, but just so you know, it can be put in. They are scheduled for the weeks of 8/5 through 8/26 for the Raptor only. So Raptor scheduling this week, and then they'll look at the other trims next week. Limited availability for the 17-inch forged beadlock capable wheel. That's the optional wheel on the Raptor. So you have a better chance of getting your Raptor scheduled if you go with the standard wheel, or you can hold out and see if it might take another month. But there you go. All right, next up is the 24 model year Super Duty. There's currently 13,252 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank. The order banks are open up for the Super Duty. We do not know when they're going to be closing. We have no timeline, no estimate yet of how long they're going to produce into this year, but I think it'll be more in the fall time frame probably. They are scheduling this week at Kentucky Truck Plant for the weeks of July 8th through July 29th. So they usually schedule like 1 month in advance instead of 2 months. Scheduling is complete for July production at Ohio. So they're still scheduling because they had some allocations, I think. So they're still scheduling for July build dates, it looks like right now. They haven't carried that over into August yet. So it says cleanup scheduling in there for that. It does say as a reminder to dealers that they need to make sure they're placing their required orders, which are some F350, 250s and 350s with a 6.8 liter engine, XL without the heavy duty standard alternator, and also F250s and 350 XLTs and Lariats with the 7.3 liter gas engine with a gooseneck fifth wheel hitch prep package, which you'll see why on our website we have a lot of Lariats in stock with the 7.3 liter, because that's what helped us fulfill this, because we think it's a very capable engine there. So, and then let's see here. I think that's about it. Other than they still need orders with the tough bed spray and bed liner, because they have plenty of production available for those. Limited availability for the King Ranch and Platinum versions. Also limited availability for the 64L wheel. That's a 20-inch polished and dark carbonized gray, high gloss painted alloy wheel. That is the one that's standard on the limited F250s and 350 single rear wheels. And then also the lug nut cap that's included on the 17 and 18-inch argent painted steel with the painted hub covers, with the 10.5-inch axle. Also the lug nut cap that's optional in the F250s and F450 pickups with four-wheel drive single rear wheel. Can you get it? Didn't think you get a single rear wheel on that 450, but that's probably talking about the 250 on that one. And then 4x4 front axle that's available on the 450 and 550s is limited availability. That's what's holding up a lot of the 450s, I believe. And then the LED projector headlights that's included in the limited and the I believe that's supposed to be platinum. It says in premium, but I think it's supposed to be platinum. That is also limited availability on the Super Duty. So not too many. At least it's condensed down over time. Next up is the 24 model year F-150, currently 8,629 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank. The order banks are open up for all trim levels. They are scheduled this week for the week of July 29th. Again, they usually schedule a little bit quicker out than the other models, them and Super Duty. It does say in here, don't forget, we've been saying this every week, but in case you haven't watched the other ones, if you have the tow haul package, you need to make sure you have the max tow axle that will go with that for the specific engine. So the 3.5 liter gas engine does need the 355 axle XL5, and then the 5.0 needs the 373 axle XL7. So make sure you put that max tow axle on there if you have the tow haul package. Bed utility package, don't forget they switched the box link plates to the new version, which are the two square ones instead of what it was before. The other plates will come with the vehicle. If you want the cleats, you have to order those through your parts department at your local dealer. And that'll be, of course, the bed utility package on the XLT, Lariat, King Ranch, Platinum, Tremor, and Raptor. Limited availability for the F-150 for the 245/70 R17 all season. That's standard on the two-wheel drive XL. Also, the 20-inch gloss black painted aluminum wheel that's included in the XLT black appearance package, plus in the Lariat black package. So that is the bigger 20-inch. And then the 2.7 liter engine, believe it or not, is limited availability, which we actually haven't been ordering that many of those. So I'm surprised about that. Next up is a 24 model year Transit, currently 6,002 unscheduled retail orders in order bank. The order banks are open up. Please stay within your allocations on those, because, like for us, we don't get a lot of Transit allocations. Some dealers get a lot, especially if you're in the big metro areas. They are scheduled this week for the weeks of 8/5 through 8/26. Limited scheduling, it says only BEV orders. There you go. Only your e-transits are getting scheduled this week, it looks like. So if you have an e-transit, that's good for you. All right. So that's all the scheduling we've gone through for this week. And again, this is the first week for new allocations. So it means that, as long as those dealerships have allocations for what you're looking to get scheduled, that's good news. This is a good week, a possible week for you. Retail only is first for a lot of them. Bronco, it's specialty only. Ranger, it's Raptor only for this week, and then they'll go to the other retail orders after that. So keep that in mind. And again, having the conversation with your dealer, find out if they have allocations for the model you're needing that you have an order in with is a key for that, and keeping within those constraints and everything. So if you have any questions about scheduling, drop them down below. If you're watching the recorded version of this, if you're on with us live on Tuesday night, then let's take those questions live, Sarah.
I have a question. I might have a few more I need to go check back through. Jeff Larson asked, did he say fifth wheel prep package is available on F350? I'm waiting to order.
Fifth wheel prep package. No, it says in there that they're needing dealers to put in some orders without the fifth wheel prep package.
Okay,
So they need F250s and 350 XLT and Lariats with the 7.3 without those.
Okay,
Now,
because he's wanting a 7.3 with that package.
Yeah, so it'll probably just take a little bit longer for it to get scheduled.
Yes.
So.
Yep. All right, let's see. Got an extended warranty question. When do you expect Ford Explorers to hit the lot?
Let's see. They started production in middle of May, so it should be any time now. Should start getting some 20. Actually, we're supposed to get a 25 this month.
Ooh,
so yeah,
okay.
So it should be any time now, probably within the next couple weeks. Quality, they want to make sure quality is good. I know that's why it took a little while for F-150s and Super Duties even to come out. Is quality,
right?
So.
Which is crazy because of all the delays with all the different vehicles, switching over for their transition years. It really feels like we just started getting some of the 24s, and now we're starting to get 25s. And it just feels really weird.
Yeah. Explorer's coming, and we're going to talk a little bit about a couple other order bank openings and when they're going to happen on a couple vehicles here in just a little bit when we get to the dealer news.
Okay. So. Ordered a trimmer last week, but Ford has not sent me an order confirmation. Dealer says Ford is slow in sending confirmations lately. Are you seeing the same thing?
No. They're lying.
They need to go over and check your information and make sure it's correct.
Yeah, make sure your email address is right, because as soon as you place that order, you get the email. I just placed. We kind of placed one for. I wanted to make sure, since it was retail only, on a Heritage Edition. See, I'm not getting my words, and so Heritage Edition, and that one came across right away. I ordered it, placed it, submitted it, boom, I got that. So make sure the email address is right, though. If that wasn't right, then you wouldn't have gotten it. So it has to, you're not going to get an email if it's not right. Yeah. So that'd be it. Either that or they haven't placed it. I've actually seen in a situation where we thought we placed an order, or the salesperson did, and then come to find out that the sales manager had saved the order, wanted to make sure the customer was good to order it, and then the salesperson didn't come back because they already assumed. They said they wanted to order it, and so then it was in our system is saved, but it was not submitted. So make sure they actually submitted the order for you.
Check in with them. So. Carl says, today Ford marketing told me 2025 F-150 orders open end of August. If my build is not scheduled, would I need to reorder? Would Ford convert to a 25?
Okay, so for one, there shouldn't be any issue with getting so like we mentioned earlier, what is there? 8,000 unscheduled retail orders for the F-150. They can schedule all those in 1 month. So the reason we keep seeing 8,000 every week is not because they're not scheduling those 8,000 orders. It's because we're seeing new orders. So it would be a big deal. What makes probably more important is to find out what kind of allocations your dealer is getting and how many orders they have. That's probably more important, because if you have a dealership that doesn't sell a lot of F-150s and they have quite a few orders, then that's their fault that they're not getting them scheduled because they don't have the allocation. But there's no reason within the next couple months. Now, I don't know what Ford marketing is saying, but I can tell you, I actually just looked up before this because I don't look that up each week. But I said, you know what? Out of curiosity, I want to look up some information. There's some place that I go to find information on order bank opening and closing, balance out, that kind of stuff. And I can tell you, F-150 is not opening anytime soon. So not the 25 F-150 order bank. I do not believe is going to open in August. It could still.
Do I need to start calling Ford marketing again?
Maybe. Well, it could. The two models that I have them, I'll talk about in just a little bit, are having order banks open in June and July. I don't have an August one yet, so it could happen in August. But
because in the past, it has happened where Ford marketing knows what's going on and starts telling people before Ford is ready to release it.
I don't know where they're getting it, because I found I got in trouble last year with Maverick, and I got in trouble And I said, don't give those dates. And I'm actually going to get some dates today, but but I mean, it's kind of like one of them I kind of already knew. We all knew because they said order banks are closed on the Escape, and usually what'll happen is
someone asked
most of your models
on Escape.
We're going to talk about that. Most of your models do not close the order bank until at the end of the model year. So when you see, like right now, if you start seeing models close, that means they're about ready to start over. Now, if you see a trim level, that's different. Like on the Bronco, where it's Heritage Edition and Everglades. Okay, that's different. But when you see the whole model close, like it did on the Escape, which closed last week, that means they're about ready to open up the order bank for the next model year. So that's usually what that means. So they close it off. We know that this is the end. They told us that this is balance out scheduling this month for August, September, the week of September 19th. So we know the Escape, know that. One was a surprise to me, and not sure if I should share it, but I'm going to. And so, but on F-150, I have not seen anything on it yet. So I would take that with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
So
don't
know. It could be accurate. It could be. And we might find some information next couple weeks.
Before, where you're calling into Ford marketing or Ford service and their customer service, and they have information that hasn't been released yet.
So, but let's think about this. They're scheduling this next week for August build dates. And if they're going to open up the order bank in August, I guess that would be for 3 months from then, which should be September. That means that the production will be in September. So I guess since they are just scheduling for August this month, there's a possibility that next month they're going to tell us that the order banks could be closing, and that is a possibility. So I'm not saying it couldn't be correct, because it probably could, but and I found sometimes they are telling you something they weren't supposed to. Yeah. So that is true, but you have plenty of time, because when the order banks open up again, they do that 3 months in advance. So if the order banks open up in August, it'll be for September build dates. So you still have, months. Well, actually, if that's for August, it's not for September build dates.
Oh, you're right.
September, October, November. It'd be for November build dates. So you still have October production, September, August, right? They still are gonna schedule for. So there's still 3 months of scheduling, and at about 50,000 units a month, they could still build 150,000.
Yeah. So Matthew sort of did have a good point here for the guy asking about the fifth wheel prep package. Don't wait, because he says he's waiting to place an order for the. Don't wait. Just pick a good dealer, place your order, then talk about their allocations and whatnot. Because once you place your order, you're in line.
Yeah.
Well, just one of the criteria that they look at when they're scheduling is, when did you place
your order? Yeah. Now, like for us, for Super Duty, the only unscheduled orders we have at this time, sometimes people put in an order, just put one in like in the last week or two, that would be in there. But outside of that, the only ones that have been waiting for theirs to get scheduled are our F450 customers. That's the ones we have, like 14 F450 orders that Henry is one of them. He was here earlier. I don't know if he's still in here or not, but those are the ones that are struggling. All the others, we have gotten all of our retail orders scheduled on all other configurations. So F250s, 350s, we've gotten them all, especially the 7.3 liter. You shouldn't have a problem. I'd go ahead and place that order.
So call around to dealers and see which one gets a lot of Super Duty orders.
Place with us.
Just check out their allocation situation. So go ahead and place your order. You never know when you're going to get it. But then at least you're in line. You're ready to go as soon as they have an allocation ready. John Spruill says, I received an email confirmation from Ford on 5/17 for my Bronco Raptor. Should it make the August date production schedule that you just reported on? So is it already scheduled, or you just placed it?
Can you pop that up there so I can read it?
Yeah.
I received an email confirmation from Ford
was that
on 5/17 for my Bronco Raptor. Should mine take? So if you are ordering a Bronco Raptor, Raptors are very different. Okay. Bronco Raptors get Raptor allocations specific for those. So like this month, we have 1 Bronco Raptor allocation, and we have 8 total Bronco allocations. So we're going to get 7 regular and we're going to get one Bronco Raptor. So your dealer needs a Bronco Raptor allocation. If they don't get a Bronco Raptor allocation this month, then your order will sit in there for another month until they get another Bronco Raptor allocation. So that's why I think it's what we do typically is we don't always place a retail Raptor Bronco Raptor order in there. We do the same thing with F-150 and Ranger Raptor. We don't put it in our order system. We wait until we get that allocation. We know we may have that list of customers that want a Bronco Raptor or F-150 Raptor, and we let guys know, hey, we have an allocation now this month. Who has an order for a Bronco Raptor? We need to go ahead and place that order this week. That's usually how we do it, because putting that order in there gives false hope to those people. But then once we get that, we know we're going to get an allocation. We put it out there to the guys. We let them know in our meetings, hey, this month we get a Bronco Raptor allocation. We got one F-150 Raptor allocation. We don't have any Ranger Raptor allocations, right? And we don't have any Dark Horse allocations. Those are our specialty vehicles. Then they know. And then so we can go ahead and place those orders. And that's kind of how we do it, which is maybe a little different. Some dealers, they just go ahead and place the order in there and you see all these orders. Because what Ford will do is once you do get a Bronco Raptor allocation, what they used to do in the past was they'd ask you, what order number do you want to be selected? Now it's automatically done. They will select the order based on priority first and then based on date. So that's why it's very important that you make sure they're in there the way you want them to, because they may take one, like especially if you have, let's say a dealer has one allocation, but there's two orders in there. Like on that Ranger Raptor, we saw that was a limited availability for the beadlock wheel. So let's say your dealer gets one Ranger Raptor allocation. There's two orders in there. One has a beadlock and one doesn't. Guess what order the Ford's going to take? They're going to take the one without the beadlock. It doesn't matter what order they came in and put in the system. The beadlock was put in first and it doesn't fit that configuration. They're looking for ones without the beadlock. That other order will be selected. That's why we like to put them in there one. Because if Ford sees that we have one order and we have one allocation, and even if it is a beadlock, guess what's going to get scheduled? The one with the beadlock, because we only have the one in there and they want to make sure they fulfill that allocation. So again, that's another way of us making sure we get what the customer wants instead of getting, if we have a stock one in there without the beadlock, guess what? They're going to take that stock one over that retail. Not fair, but it's a configuration that they say they can get. So if they find a dealer that has one without the beadlock, that helps them out with production. So they'll do that. And then the ones that get the beadlock are the ones that the retails with it. It's the only one that the dealer has. So it's kind of how that works. So that makes sense. All right. So, but again, Raptor is a whole different ballgame in that sense, and you have to have specific allocations to get one. So,
yep. Carl said, I have an unscheduled clean F-150 King Ranch order since mid-February, many weeks with no applicable published constraints. Dealer has allocations.
Because there's not any notes in here. So, yeah, I'd love to see like what was on the order, because King Ranch may not be an issue, but you may have something that
bed cover.
Yeah, you may have a bed cover on there. You may have mud flaps, and the more of those accessories you put on there, the harder it is. So they might say, hey, well, we can take some King Ranches, but you know what? We're limited on how many tonneau covers we can make. So let's take this order without the tonneau cover, and then yours just keeps sitting there. So that's maybe what I look at. I always try to tell people, keep the bed accessories off. Let your dealer sell those to you. One, I'm a dealer. Yeah, I'd love to see that. But also, it does help you get your orders faster.
Yes.
I mean, I've done that on my truck orders because I've custom ordered a lot. And, you get one of those, I do the bed cover. Hey, you guys want to put the spray and liner? You want the bed cover on? Hey, I want to put these splash guards on. Right? I do all that at the dealer. For one, I don't have to wait, and it's gonna get scheduled faster. The more simple the build is, the more likely it is to get scheduled. So I would maybe look at that as a consideration of why it's maybe not scheduling.
Yeah. If you want to email your build to sarahdavis@lawmacarthur.com, we can certainly take a look at your order and see if we can help you out, help figuring that out for you.
Yeah. We've done that. Like we had a customer on a Maverick that should have gotten scheduled. His was one of the first ones in there. And remember, he had a first edition, and first editions were getting scheduled because they knew they were going to balance out. And he had like 6 dealer installed options on his order.
We actually played around with the Maverick once. We had a customer that did not want theirs until end of production. So we put mud flaps and all the accessories on it, and they did not get scheduled until we took those items off.
And then it got scheduled. Yeah. Yeah, that other one, we had 6 on there. We like, hey, let's try taking off these couple ones. So we took 2 off. It didn't get scheduled that month.
Yeah.
So then we took 2 more off, and then it finally scheduled. So instead of having 6, had 2. It's easier, a little bit easier. So I would maybe look at that as a possible reason. Although you're saying it's a clean order, and I know it'll say unscheduled clean, which means you don't have anything that's balanced out, but it still means you might have something on there that could get in the way. So
yeah.
All right. Sorry. I tend to find long ways of answering the question.
Mm-hmm. All right. Those are all the questions I had. Lots of good questions.
All right. We got a couple dealer news updates here. So let's go through those. Not really a lot of dealer news, just some things that I want to kind of talk about, some fun things that have come out that Ford's released. And then a couple, well, one of these isn't fun, but we'll get into that. Actually, this in here we already talked about. Let's go ahead and do this. Okay, the first one I just kind of put off the side was the Everglades. So the Bronco Everglades is balancing out. So the order bank is closing on June 14th, 2024. Went over that during the scheduling information. It says June 14th will be dealers will have until 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to submit new customer retail or stock orders. So again, typically we won't always see the stock ones close, but in this case we will. It says 24 model year Bronco Everglades stock order bank will close along with the retail order bank closure. So it's kind of a special note in here on this. So you want to make sure if you want that Everglades, get it in there. There are a lot of rumors. A lot of people think that the Everglades is going away after this year. I might be in that same ballpark and that same theory because the Sasquatch package now comes with the wheel from the Everglades. And when you look at the Everglades and how it's basically based off the Black Diamond configuration with the rock rails, everything else, and the same interior and all that kind of stuff, the grill's a little different. And then you get standard mid package on that one. Well, it would be hard to take a Black Diamond out of mid package. And then it's standard Sasquatch. Well, now the Sasquatch package comes with that same wheel. So when you add that, so what's the difference? You get a snorkel, you get a winch on the front, you get the slide out tailgate in the back. The grill is different. So they may be either going to make in the Everglades its own package within a trim, or they may do away with it and say, well, we pretty much have an Everglades with this. Maybe you can add an optional snorkel or something. I don't know. So there's that possibility. So if you're wanting that Everglades, now might be the time to do that. So, all right. Moving on, and we can take your order for that. Also, if you're wanting an Everglades, look on our lot. We have them $2,500 off right now, and you can take delivery one now. We have some Azure Gray. We have Carbonized Gray, which looks really good with those gray wheels. We have Eruption Green in stock. We have a Shadow Black that just came in. So if you're wanting an Everglades, that might be a quicker turnaround. And if you get something with us, we do free shipping if you finance it with us. So just keep that in mind. Might be quicker to do that. All right, next a little bit of information is on the 25 model year Explorer. This one's kind of weird. So it says, due to production constraints, 25 model year Explorer is not equipped with the exit warning feature, which alerts drivers and passengers when opening a door may lead to a collision while the vehicle is in park. This feature is supplemental to Bliss, which also consists of cross-traffic alert and trailer coverage. Cross-traffic alert and trailer coverage remain. There's a period right there. Cross-traffic alert and trailer coverage remain on your vehicle. So that's still going to be there. So there you go. So the feature, anyway, So that's something to do. And you also, as a customer, if you purchase a 25 model year Explorer, you have to fill out a form saying that you're aware that this exit warning feature is not equipped on the vehicle. So it's kind of a weird one there. All right. And then something else I want to talk about is this week, Ford did come out. We talked about it a while back. Ford Raptor Rally. You can go to their website, fordraptorrally.com, and they were having people put in, to get notification of this opening. Registration is now open and open this week. So you can go to that website if you want to go to the Raptor Rally. You have to bring your own Raptor, and I believe it's Ranger Raptor, Bronco Raptor, and F-150 Raptor. Are welcome to this. So it's kind of cool. So check out that website if you're interested. If you have a Raptor, think you might want to go. I think right now, if you register early enough, it's cheaper, and then the price goes up as you get closer. I think it's what is the date on that? Let me pull up that. Let me pull that up. So here's the sheet on that. Registration opens. This is a couple days ago. It says it's on September 21st, 2024. It's in Fairfield, Utah. And go to the website, and it has prices for you. So it says off-road fun, expert workshops, meet the Ford team. There's merchandise, there's community connections, and much more. So there you go. So if you're wanting to do that, registration is open now. So there you go. And another thing that came up that I thought was kind of cool, Ford is doing these Built Wild Days. Have you seen this there at state parks? So Built Wild Days. Actually, I'm going to put those in the chat. So different state parks, and it's different dates throughout the calendar year. I was like to see if I could. There's some in Colorado that are coming up. Let me throw this in the chat. So there's a link to that there if you want to look at it, fordeventreg.com. So there's different dates, different national parks. It's kind of cool. Built Wild Days, and you go, and I think you go clean up state parks, that kind of stuff. And yeah, so it's kind of cool. So it's get out and enjoy the national parks kind of thing. So yeah, so check that out if you want to. So it's kind of cool. They're doing different events like that. So, all right. And then lastly, order bank updates. So the 24 model year Escape balance out. That means they're done with, the last 2024 model year Escape they're going to make is September 13th. The 25 model year order bank supposed to open up next week, the 17th. We'll see if that happens. That is 6 days from that's next Monday. So next Monday or Tuesday. Sometimes it rolls into Tuesday. The 25 model year Escape should open. I don't think there's going to be any kind of refresh yet because 23, 24, 25. This will be the last year before a refresh. A lot of people thought the Escape was going away. And I've even had people here at the dealership go, well, we're not going to have a 25 Escape. Isn't it done after this year? Like the Edge? And I'm like, I don't know who's giving you that input. I was assumption, why would they do a refresh just for two years? So they're going to probably at least make it at least for the 25 model year. So I now have confirmation of that. They're going to order bank opens up next week. So with job one starting September 16th. So that usually does happen a couple days after 24 model year ends. The next model year starts. Another model that actually is closing up a little earlier than I thought it was, the 24 model year Mustang. The Mustang is bouncing out October 11th. So that is when they're going to make their last 24 model year Mustang. The 25 model year Mustang order bank is supposed to open up in July. I'm just going to say in July, so don't get in trouble. There's a date in here, but I'm not going to say it. Let me just say mid to late July is when the 25 model year Mustang order bank should open up. We don't know when job one will be yet. Typically, it'll be a couple days after 24 stops. So I would say sometime in mid-October. How about that? Let's keep myself safe on good graces with Ford there. So there you go. Mustang is coming. And 25 model years when that 60th anniversary edition can be ordered. For those of you that saw that come out, there you go. So, all right. That's that. So that's the news. Probably don't have any questions about any of that stuff.
No, we don't have any questions about that.
All right. if you do, drop them in there. We'll get to them. We don't have to wait for those questions. If you have them, we can answer those at any time in between sessions here. So let's go next to the recalls. Now, if you do, if you're curious, if you have an active recall, in the description of this video, as well as in the podcast notes, podcast details there, you can get the link there to find recalls. So it's actually, let me just drop it in. I should just do this each week. Let me drop it in the chat as well. So you can go here and you can find if your vehicle has any recalls in it. So it's real nice and easy to go in there and put your VIN in, or if you know what model. Actually, I think you do have to have your VIN for this one, but you can go in there. You can also do it through the 4Pass app. Just saying, there's a lot of places to do that. We're going to actually rant a little bit about some things later. This week, I have a rant this week on connected services. I'm going to rant for my dad because he's not real happy. So we're going to talk about that.
Yeah.
Anyway, after we get into our summer road trips, have fun first, and we'll do our little rant. Maybe I should flip that around. Always good to end with having fun. All right, so let's get into recalls for this week and cover. There's only like 2, so this should not take very long. Okay, so this first one is safety recall 24S28. This actually has to do with the Heritage Edition 4-doors for the Broncos. So 23 and 24 model year. They put in here 5-door because technically there's a swing door. So Heritage Edition Bronco hardtop vehicles with the removable rear quarter glass windows, the driver's side quarter window panel replacement. So this actually, there's some information. We actually talked about this back in April, maybe May, early May. We talked about this. So only 348 vehicles are affected by this recall. And so in some of the vehicles, so here, reason for the call. In some of the affected vehicles, the driver's side removable rear quarter glass panel may not be adequately bonded to its 3 mounting brackets and may separate from the vehicle. A customer may observe wind noise, rattle noise, or a water leak prior to glass panel separation. A rear quarter panel that separates from the vehicle while driving can create a road hazard or for other road users, of course, increasing the risk of a crash. So, you know what's funny is I didn't even realize that those came off. I guess it's just for the Heritage Editions. Not all. I don't think that the regular modular one comes off, but the ones that are the white hardtops, those quarter windows can come out. So, just kind of cool. There you go. So there's that recall. Letters are going to go out to owners the week of June 17th. But again, you can go to that website and find out if you're on that recall. So there you go. So this is actually the official recall. The one that I talked about was an advance notice back in April and May. Now we have the official recall. All right. This next one has to do with Explorer. So this is safety recall 23S55. This is supplement number 3. So they've updated this recall a couple of times now. 2020 to 2022 Explorers. This has to do with the rear axle bolt fracture. So we've talked about this before. Last time we talked about it was in April. So this in here, they've updated on this one here. They've updated the tech instruction procedures as well as the labor operation allowances for the dealers. So in some of the affected vehicles, the rear axle bolt may fracture. A fractured rear axle bolt will allow the rear axle housing to move out of position, resulting in severe noise and vibration. If the rear axle bolt breaks, the drive shaft or half shafts may become disconnected, resulting in a loss of transmission torque to the rear wheels. Transmission torque is necessary to hold the vehicle in park and is also needed for a vehicle to move forward or backwards. There you go. So letters on this one says parts to repair this condition are currently not available in sufficient quantities to service all of the affected vehicles. Therefore, to ensure an ample supply of parts is available, owners of affected vehicles will be notified in separate mailings. The mailing started the week of January 8th, and so they'll roll out based on their availability. So there you go. It looks like 238,712 vehicles are affected by that recall. So there you go. That's it. Just those 2. Okay. I got an is it true?
All right.
Has to do with the expedition. I don't know if I can pull this up. Let me try this. So Ford Authority posted this article on the Ford Expedition. We actually, I think, talked a little bit about it last week. The new 2025 Expedition shows the front grille revealed in this. So let's post this up on here. So there you go. So that is there you go. So but now they're talking about the split lift gate. So on this, so there's, by the way, that's what that grill looks like, which I kind of like it. So it looks pretty sharp, but everything else is still batched up. Now on a refresh, typically they don't redo the doors or the fenders or anything. Usually just your grill, bumpers, that kind of stuff, and sometimes a rear lift gate, which in this case they're saying is they're talking about the Pro Access tailgate is available now, where you can open that up kind of like a swing door, right? Kind of like the Bronco. Now they're saying sources tell them that the 25 Ford Expedition will offer a split lift gate out back. The split lift gate would include a lower section, the tailgate, and an upper section, the upper lift gate. The former would allow users to drop the tailgate in a similar fashion as on a truck like the F-150, while the latter would enable them to access the rear cargo area without opening the tailgate, similar to how the rear liftgate functions on the current model. Speaking of that, that rear glass design, a split liftgate would likely eliminate that functionality completely, therefore improving the noise, vibration, and harshness levels. So you can't really tell on here because they really have it badged up pretty good. I was trying to look in here and say, where was that separate? Because what it's saying is that this would come down, right? Down, and then this would go up. So I don't know. So those of you watching the podcast probably can't see. That's just my cursor. That, but it looks like the tailgate, like the lift gate, would be separated into split. So instead of just the whole lift gate going up, glass and the back would still open up like it does now, but then the other would then go down. Reminds me of the old Suburban back in the day. My dad had an old Suburban that did that. So
yeah,
you actually you did a thing, and the glass went down into the lift gate, and then you flipped it down.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you guys think of that? Don't know. Don't know if it's going to happen. Actually, I do, but I can't say anything. I can't confirm or deny anything. But what do you guys think? I'm actually looking forward to getting information on all these models. Come on, Ford. Let's go. Let's start putting this stuff out there. I'm really excited this summer to see some of this stuff. But yeah, There you go.
So we have Ninjas Are Real in the chat, and he said, all recalls, regardless of your make and model, effective immediately, will be converted to 6-speed manual clutches before your vehicle is returned to you. If you can't drive manual, you'll walk home. No Uber. He's our manual, spokesperson?
Yeah. We had somebody that I think posted, I don't know if it's him or not, posted that they wanted a manual Maverick and they wanted a regular cab Maverick. And I said, that would be great. But kind of like with now, if Ford can't get enough orders, enough people interested in it, and they can't sell enough, they have to, if they're going to do something, they're going to make they have to make at least a certain number, right? Like trimmer, right? Is 10% of the production is trimmer. Well, if they can't sell 10% trimmers, then they'll stop doing the trimmer. They won't just make it a 5% and keep making it. F-150 regular cab, why do they still make it? Because there's a lot of people that still buy it. Our number one seller right now for our F-150 is our regular cab Lightning Bolt. We looked it up. We have 14 sales so far this month. 6 of them are the Lightning Bolt.
Yeah.
So like half of our sales come from regular cab slammed F-150. So, is what it is. But that doesn't go for every model. Like I think a Maverick really hits certain people. And those people aren't the ones that will buy. I mean, a lot of people say, I want a regular cab
Douglas
manual.
said it would be kind of like the Bronco. The Bronco split.
But the Bronco goes up and then swings out. This is going to swing down like a tailgate.
Okay, but I could see the benefit to that. I really could.
It's hard enough. We have an Expedition extended length, and I can tell you right now, it's hard enough reaching to the back of the seats
What about a
without
truck?
the lift gate.
What about the truck?
You got to crawl into the truck. So, okay.
Exactly. So either
okay.
way.
So now we need to add on top of that a tailgate step.
Or the Pro Access tailgate.
Now, on the Bronco, swings open, lifts up, makes sense. If it swings open, and I think that they're getting information and they're trying to, like, in a sense, guess on how they're going to do it. So the question is, will it go up and then swing open like a Bronco, or will it swing down the lower part like an F-150? Guess we'll find out soon enough.
You know which vehicle I liked?
They didn't actually tell us at the dealer meeting.
Actually, I really like the Bronco. EcoSport. Isn't that the one that had the full back?
It swung open.
It swung open like a door. I loved it.
That one could have come down like a tailgate, and it wouldn't have mattered because it wasn't long enough cargo area.
Yeah. I'd like it on my C-Max.
Anyway, there you go.
Just
There's
swing it
that.
open.
There's
Tim
that.
can't read out these specific dates. Maybe Sarah can tell us the start of the orders for Mustang. JK. Nope, he doesn't tell me anything.
What was in here? She went for a little walk. So, yeah, it's like I said, I was pretty close when I said mid.
Yeah.
When I said mid-July. Can't get closer to the actual date than saying mid-July. Just saying.
Yeah. Do you think there will be a 26 Escape?
I don't know.
As far as we know.
Well, see, a lot of people didn't think there was going to be a 25 Escape. And I said, but Ford hasn't said it was ending it.
Right.
Now that there is a 25.
Out like 2 years?
I mean, they redid the Edge and then it was out several years before they ended it. So that's why I'm like, they're not going to redesign an Escape and have it run for 2 years and stop it.
Yeah.
That's why I think they're going to at least make it through 25 model year. So a lot of people are saying it's going away, but I don't know if it will. But there you go. So anyway.
All right. So Coast Main said, make the rear hatch gate in 3 pieces. Top goes up, bottom splits vertically in half and opens out.
Okay. That could work. Kind of like a Pro Access tailgate, kind of.
Yeah.
Or make it like a Pro Access tailgate in a way it swings down or opens up. I just think that would look really weird on the back, though. That might be a deal breaker for your mom. She may not want a 25 Escape if it swings down and she doesn't like it.
Well, only time will tell.
Yeah, but then we need to know okay, Ford, this is why you got to let people know far enough in advance that if they're like, oh, no, I don't like that at all. Like right now, Maverick people are like, oh, no, and they have a 22 and thinking about getting a 25 and they don't like the look of it and said it's going to take me a while to get used to that. Then what are they going to do? They want to get they want to get their hands on a 24, right?
Yeah.
So now I need to order a 24 the way I want.
Just not going to purchase it, or they're going to purchase a different manufacturer that they like better.
But if you like the Maverick, you're like, oh, so what some people will do is if they don't like the redesign, at first they won't like it, but eventually they'll get used to it and they'll get it. So what you really see, we saw this a lot with F-150. When they would redesign the F-150, we'd get a spike in sales on the year right before it, because then that gave them a couple years to get used to the new one. Than the look of the new one. And so you're going to see that happen with some people in the Maverick. If they don't like the front of that Maverick, what are they going to do? They're going to go ahead and maybe I want to get that 24. That's a little early for me, but I'd rather get the 24. Now I can hold off for 2 or 3 years and get used to that new look.
Or hope that they bring something back that they like.
Right? So.
Yeah. People are already talking about summer.
So I'm
Let's see. Why doesn't Ford give the reason why a vehicle is on a quality assurance hold? I have a vehicle that has been on hold since 1/5/24.
Well, sometimes they don't know. So when it's made, it comes out and they don't know if that's going to be a quick, easy fix of something that went wrong, just a different part needs to be put in or something like that, or if they need to scratch it and remake it. I don't know. I mean, so sometimes it's something it's a short thing and they won't tell you. And sometimes it may be not that it's that particular your vehicle that's on quality hold, but it could be the whole line. Like on the Lightning, they held up all of the Lightnings that were built, not just a couple of them, all of them. So it could be a whole line. And we had a bunch of Super Ds that were just held off sitting at somewhere in Kentucky. I know. Did you notice that all the Super Ds that got coming in? Yeah. Normally we get a vehicle in, the mileage will be like somewhere between 5 and 10 miles, right? You notice that.
Yeah.
All the Super Duties have you noticed the miles on them? 58, 59, 60 miles. Yeah. That sounds like about as far as it is from the Kentucky truck plant to, I think it was Kentucky Speedway or something. So it was like 15 miles. I'm like, oh, 30 miles. There's 10. There's 40. I mean, now you're getting kind of close to where that mileage was. And I'm like, okay, so they drove it somewhere else to store them, right, for a little while.
Yeah.
To check them and then bring them back. So, and ours did sit there in Kentucky for quite a while before they finally shipped out.
I mean, my Maverick came in and it was what was the first year? 21 or 22? It was a 22 that I got, and it was one of the first ones that we got. And it had a couple hundred miles on it. It had like 300.
Well, some of them will tell you this was tested. These didn't have any of that. So these weren't tested. They were,
yeah.
I can show you what happened where my mach-e went in Kansas City. There was like, it went over here, went to airport, went over here, went over there. I didn't even look at the mileage on it.
You should.
I can now. I put it in here. We'll see how that goes. But what's it say for mileage on it? Oh, am I not in the right location? Oh, I don't think I got it in the right place.
Let's see. So I have Carl's order sheet here.
32 miles on it. So it probably was driven a little bit around in Kansas City.
Yeah.
Somebody who did a little joyride in Kansas City with it.
It says job to order has the GVWR package, power boost, King Ranch.
Okay.
Front license plate bracket, engine block heater. It has Pro Power on board, Blue Cruise, standard fuel tank, retractable rear center step, onboard scales with smart hitch, max recline driver and passenger seat. That's what it has.
Okay. Was a max recline an option?
Yes.
Okay. It didn't have any accessories on there, really.
Had the engine block heater.
Yeah.
That's the only one I see.
That shouldn't be a problem.
No.
And the King Ranch comes with Blue Cruise. So that's not an issue.
Right.
I did hear on some of the vehicles, some of the like upper trim, like Lariat and above, that they are not coming out as fast and getting scheduled for. But his is trying to get scheduled for production. Does it have his King Ranch comes standard with a bed utility package? So that's a Pro Access tailgate. So that could be the fact that they can only do so many Pro Access tailgates that it can be holding up from being scheduled. I think it'd be more or less look at your dealer for allocations, find out what you got there, and have that candid conversation of, I want to know how many allocations you're getting, right? And how many unscheduled orders do you have? But so.
Yep. All right. Should we move on?
Yep. I think so. Okay, so actually this topic kind of came up because I was like, what are we going to talk about this week? We don't really have much to talk about. Maverick again, because we saw more images of them driving around and everything. And covered that in the Maverick Monday. Check that out. But we're like, what else can we talk about? Well, summertime, a lot of people going on road trips with their vehicles, whether they're going camping with theirs, whether they're, they might even go camping with the tent on the back of their Maverick, or they're just driving it. Like some of you are coming to the Maverick meetup. I know we're going to Colorado on vacation in July. We're going to go off-roading. You just went to Colorado with your vehicle and took a tent and everything, so, it's fun to go road trip in your vehicle, right? And find different places to go. I know some of you are planning the trip and how you're going to get here and maybe hitting some different sites and that kind of stuff. But I guess that's what I want to kind of put it in the chat is, what do you guys, what kind of road trips are you taking with your vehicle? And what's important is that you have a vehicle that you can take a road trip in.
Yeah.
Right. That it's a reliable vehicle that you feel like is going to get you where you need to go. And what do you do if you do break down on the side of the road? Right. Ford does have roadside assistance, so make sure you have that information in your glove box, that kind of stuff for roadside assistance if you need to. If you're having an issue, having a breakdown, we've had people break down here and we've got them back on the road, and to where they need to go. Actually, Henry came through with his Bronco that he had purchased, throwing all kinds of codes, right? He stopped by, and one, he wanted to kind of see us and meet us and everything else and show us his Bronco, but also he had codes up, and we couldn't figure out what was wrong and why it was throwing all the codes, right? And so we said, hey, you know what? Let's put you in something to get you back home.
Yep.
And then when we get it fixed, come pick it. You can bring the vehicle back to us and pick it back up, or if you want, or we can bring it to you. I mean, we try to make things work for him, but sometimes that happens, So anyway, but there you go.
Yeah.
But so I don't know. I didn't really have like anywhere I was going with that. Your mom and I are thinking about, we're looking at anyway, getting kayaks. So, well, I got to carry the kayaks on something, most of the time if we're going to go camping and we're going to take the kayaks, right? Well, I probably want to put them on the Bronco. Guess what? I got a cloth top Bronco, but I found some solutions. There's some different racks that come with that, but I found some on Amazon, some racks that actually bolt onto the B and C pillars. And then the rack goes on top of the bracket that's bolts onto those.
Say, what about your camper?
Yeah, except there's a solar panel on there, and then there's an air conditioner thing up there, vent up there. So I don't really want to put it up there, but it probably could. I think it is made to be able to put a tent on that, on those, but I could do that. Or you can also mount hitches on the back of your camper and then have a kayak thing going up and down. I don't want to go up and down. I'd rather just kind of go over the top. So, but that rack is like only $150 versus buying a big rack and everything. Plus, we like to be able to pop that top back. So I can easily take that rack. I can unbolt it off of those at any time pretty quickly. And then I can we can still open that cloth top and enjoy it. And then, while we're wherever we're at, have the kayaks off to the side and then put it back on when we want to and whatever,
Yeah. And Lebo and I were, we have a C-Max and a Fusion. Neither one's good for traveling, especially if you're planning to tent camp it. You need, tent, the sleeping bags. You need all that stuff. Neither one really has the room for all the stuff that you need, especially when you take a dog, which we don't. People love to travel with their dogs. It was great, but at the same time, it really held us back because we were in a brand new Ranger that my father-in-law has that he let us have for Colorado, and we didn't want to scratch it up. We didn't want the dogs to ruin it. So it really held us back on what we could and couldn't do. We couldn't go off-roading. We couldn't, do a lot. I had to sit in the back with the kids while the dogs sat up front. So we also are, on the other hand, we have hybrids. We love our hybrids. How often do we go camping like that where we are taking everything with us? Not often. Not often, maybe once a year. So for us, it's not worth it to have a big vehicle and lose out on our fuel economy that we currently have on our two hybrids. But I can say that the Ranger is a good vehicle for road tripping. It had a good bed length. We liked it. Fit everything we need. And luckily it didn't rain because we had no bed topper on it. So everything was tied down, and we just hoped there wasn't rain. So, which it actually did rain. We put in the morning, we loaded up the truck and I'm like, man, it looks like it's going to rain. We need to get out ahead of this. As soon as everything was loaded and tied down, it started pouring. Luckily, we were on the way home, so we didn't have to rely on any of it, and we could set it out and let it dry. But
Yeah.
yeah.
So there's some pretty good comments in here. That's the other thing that we can talk about road trips is what are some of your favorite features in your vehicle that help you enjoy that road trip and that long drive in your vehicle, right?
Yeah.
You know, some people posted some stuff in there, right? Some different things. I don't know if you want to highlight some of those comments, pop some of those up. Yeah, Laura, they have a 10 on their Bronco.
Yeah.
Bronco hardtop. I actually said that if I got a hardtop, it would be for one purpose only, and that would be to put a tent on it or something else, a rack on there. But now that I've found a rack that you can get, I'm like, well, who needs that? Because I do. One of my favorite things on the Bronco is that cloth top of going flip, and push it back. And I have full view for both the front and the back passengers to be able to see through and get nice air coming through. And, you know, I mean, the panels, you know, it's not two, it's three things you got to move, and you got to move the two panels. And then even those in the back then don't, and you can't store the middle one in the back. That's why I think the convenience of the cloth top. Cloth top is a little louder. I guess it depends on what version of hardtop you have, whether it's louder or quieter than my soft top. But yeah, it's kind of nice. But there you go. What all right?
Yeah.
Post some of those things up there.
Let's see. Oh, month-to-month Blue Cruise option is ideal for summer road trips. So you don't have to have it, but then when you're ready for a road trip, you can subscribe for the month.
Okay, let's talk about that for a second. So we're going to do a rant in just a little bit about some connected services. But so how much do you think Blue Cruise is worth if you're going on a vacation trip? How much would you pay for Blue Cruise access? So here's the thing. We figured it. We're narrowed it down to I think it was $2,100 for Blue Cruise for 3 years. So for 1 year, that's $700 a month. Sorry, I need a calculator for this. 700 divided by 12. So that's $58 a month. So if you sign up a monthly, it's going to probably cost you more than that. I think it's $70. So is Blue Cruise that awesome that you'd pay $70 for a vacation trip to use it for your vacation trip?
Yes.
It is $70. That's
for
like
1 month.
That's like 1.5 tanks of gas.
1 month.
Think about that.
I'm paying it one time. I'm going to unsubscribe as soon as I'm done.
Well,
with
yeah.
my
Okay.
vacation.
1 month. I'm just saying it is $60, $50, maybe $70, which is what I think it is if you do a month to month, because you can sign up at any month and then you can also cancel at any month. So you can sign up for a monthly. Okay. Actually, I don't know if you can sign up monthly or not. I guess we'll find out because if I get the mach-e, then it has a 90-day trial. I did not get the prepaid ordered on that particular mach-e. Yeah. But so that is the question.
In case you don't know, Blue Cruise is the hands-free driving.
Yeah.
But you know, now that I think about it, Lebo did have the adaptive cruise control. The only thing he didn't like is that even with his hands on it, it would still every so often flash up saying, hey, hands on the steering wheel. And he's like, my hand is on the steering wheel.
Well, you got to understand. Okay, they need to change the wording of that, but what they really mean is take control, not put your hands on the steering wheel, because you can have your hands on there, and if you're driving perfectly with it, it'll bring it up.
So my thing with it is if it's supposed to keep you in the lane, it's doing its job. Why should I be moving it around if it's doing its job?
You don't really have to move it from where it's going. It just needs to feel that tension that you're still in control, that you're still there.
Right. But even if you have your hands on it and you give it just a little bit of tension, you have to shake it. Like Lebo had to shake it a bit for it to actually work. It happened twice where it did not react to him having his hand on the steering wheel and putting tension to it just slightly over, and it stopped us. It was trying to brake on us because it thought our hands weren't there.
Yeah, so it's not the hand again. It's not the hands on the steering wheel. It's the control of the steering wheel, and it needs to know. Like we go back and forth to Fort Riley all the time in the expedition, and I don't really have that many issues with it. It just needs to know. Now, once you realize
cruise control is doing its job, I shouldn't need to put tension on it. I shouldn't need to do that. That alert to me seems inaccurate.
The wording is inaccurate. That's the only problem I have with it is it's not saying put your hands on the steering wheel. It's saying move the steering wheel or no, it needs to say something else.
Option to hit OK instead of jerking the steering wheel. Hit OK on the steering wheel. Like, I am paying attention. I am right here.
It is frustrating that if you're driving perfectly with it with your hands on the steering wheel and you're like going right along with it, that it doesn't recognize that.
Yes.
I will tell you it's 15 seconds.
Right.
If you move it a little bit and took your hands on the steering wheel 15 seconds, that's when it gives you that alert again. But adaptive cruise to me is just as good.
Yes.
For nothing. I already get that with my vehicle. If you get it with your vehicle, yes. I'm not going to pay a little extra. So we'll have to see what Ford's going to do because there's a couple other connected services. So, for those on the podcast, quotations up in the air.
Yeah.
Connected services.
So thinking about that and how well it works, you don't need Blue Cruise. Unless you want to take your hands completely off the steering wheel and just sit there.
We did it with the Lightning for a long time. It's nice. It is. I can take my hands off the steering wheel with an adaptive cruise for 15 seconds.
Yeah.
And then I have to touch a little bit. Now you got Tesla who says they have autonomous driving but you have to have your hand on the steering wheel. I'm like, so that's adaptive cruise then for us. I mean, Tesla thinks they got this coolest, adaptive cruise or this, autonomous driving system, but you have to have your hand on the steering wheel, but you don't have to watch. You can do whatever you want. You can fall asleep as long as your hand's on the steering wheel. It senses that. I'm like, that's kind of adaptive cruise in a sense.
See, and Laura says, I turned off lane keeping and it quit yelling at me. Yeah, that's an option. You just turn off that system. I forgot to do that, though, before we left.
That's not lane keeping. It's lane centering. Take off the lane centering. Yeah. Then it's not. Then you're in total control the whole time.
Right.
It will not keep you in the middle at all. The speed sign recognition, that is, so Fran mentioned that speed sign recognition, that's really cool feature. Now I don't have that on the Maverick. So the Maverick has adaptive cruise lane centering, but it does not have the speed sign recognition, and the Expedition has speed sign recognition. So for those of you who don't know that, it's adaptive cruise. And then when you get into a speed zone, you can keep a tolerance on, in your system for that. For us, we keep it at 5 over. For our tolerance. And so when the speed sign changes, like you go into construction zones and it slows down to 65, then you'd slow down to 70 for a tolerance of 5. Or if you keep it on the regular, then it would take it down to 65. That's kind of nice. It keeps you from getting speeding tickets. If you're talking, I've had that happen where I'm talking and then the speed sign, it changed on me. It slowed me down. Why did it slow down? Well, the speed changed. So that is kind of a nice feature to have. Also comes along with that. If you don't have the cruise on, but you're driving along and a speed sign changes, you get the notification alerts and tells you that it's changed as well. And so that's kind of nice. So I do like that. But I think that Ford, we're going to get into the Rant here in a little bit, and the Blue Cruise will come into the Rant along with some of the other Ford connected services here in just a second. But I think it's too much money. I think they're asking too much. I don't know. I guess when you think about $2,100 at the beginning, if you use it a lot, if you're a commuter and you're on the highway a lot, definitely where I pay $58 a month if I was using it every day.
Yeah.
Right. But if I'm only using it on a vacation or a trip, like the summer, if I end up getting the mach-e, it's not a done deal. We'll take it to the airport. Right.
Yeah.
And I would use it. Guess what? We'll still be within the 90-day trial. So, because if I get it now, right, let's say next week, then, or later this week, then I'll have it. It'll be until September 11th or so.
Yeah.
So the couple of times that we're only going to take the one trip, but
Mhm.
well, we'll be able to use the Blue Cruise, so that'll be nice. And it is nice. I do like the Blue Cruise. I just don't think it's worth $60 a month if you don't use it but once a month or twice a month.
Yeah. Matthew says Tesla's pushing an update to be like Blue Cruise, hands off, but you must pay attention. Yeah, that's needed.
Yeah. Like I said, I do like Blue Cruise. Don't get me wrong. I think it is really awesome technology. And Jeff was talking about this. Our son, my son Jeff, he is really into IT, and he goes, "Well, there's a lot that goes into the programming of that system." And says, "I get that, but at one point, do they cut even on that? Because think about all the people that buy these vehicles at $60 a month. They're making money on this. They're making a lot of money on this. It's not just they're cutting even and cutting their costs and covering that in a little bit. They're making some bank on this. I'm sorry. But I think it's a little too much. I still think it's probably cheaper than what Tesla's charging, I think, but Tesla charges a lot too. But again, if I commuted every day, it'd probably definitely be worth it. But if I only use it once in a while, then definitely not worth it. So anyway, so I was going to show this off. Here's see if I get this, share this tab. So we're thinking about doing the kayak thing.
Someone said you should get an inflatable kayak.
No, I don't want to. I'm too worried about it's going to puncturing. I had something that was I had an inflatable something another that was like that. It was inflatable little kneeboard. We had one of those. Was not good.
Okay,
was not. Good
here's the thing: a kayak is not going at high speeds. A kneeboard, you are going at high speeds. That water's gonna cut through it. A kayak is not going at those high speeds. Well,
anyway. I'm not a big fan of the inflatable stuff. All right, so here's the racks that you can get for the. Actually goes in right behind the A-pillar, actually, which okay, that's a better location. But there's what it looks like with the cloth top. So then it shows kind of some of the things you can do. So then you could still put the cloth. You could still put the top all the way back and then put it back on. Right?
Why not get the
kayak? Bike.
The RTR roof rack.
Okay, but then you can't open up the back. So think about that. I looked at that, and plus it's $2,500. This is $150.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't have all the money in the world here. If I'm gonna spend $2,500 on something, I'm not gonna be getting a rack. It's gonna be like I'm getting, I don't know, whole new suspension or something. But I do like this, and it even has the holes so you can run those wires through. But there you go. So you can see where they bolt on to the Bronco, and then you put them on there, and then you can kind of cool. So I was looking at that anyway. So there's that. And then I saw somebody that says you can get the J hooks for the kayaks. But one guy said what he does is puts foam pads on those instead, and then he puts the kayak laying down, with the bottom of it against those, and tie them down and harness them down, and it actually doesn't move as much, and it's better on it, and you don't have to worry about the J hooks and them being up. So you should be able to put two side by side up there and then tie them down. So, and then you can tie the front of the kayaks down and use the front guides of the Bronco to hook them in there. So on the highway, it won't fly up on you. So anyway, I don't know. So, but if we get kayaks, we're going to need something to bring them home with. So we can use the Expedition. Well, actually, the Expedition doesn't have the crossbars. So a lot of your SUVs will come with the side rails, but not crossbars. So always keep that in mind too. I
mentioned that to Mom. I was like, "What about your Expedition?" She goes, "Well, I do have the bars on there." It's like, well, you need a couple more accessories to go along with that, but
you have to add the crossbars, and we could put foam on it and use that. And like some of the times, we could just use the Expedition, and if we're just going to go kayaking and that's it, we're not going to go camping, or we're not going to go off roading too, or whatever, vice versa. Then we can take that. But so there you go. Now, the question is, do I have anything else mounted to those same points? Because I know I have those
Couple of things.
interior lights and the strap. We'll see, because there's one like handle I was going to put on the Bronco, and I realized that you can't put it on with the IAG grips or handles or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right, what else we got here?
People are asking about the Maverick meetup.
Okay, we were going to get into that too, talking about road trips. The meetup we're doing in August. August is it second?
Second and third.
So that is a Friday, Saturday event. So basically, what we're wanting to do, and you don't have to come to both, or you can come to one and not the other. But we're going to do on the Friday is around 9:30, 10 o'clock or so. We're going to meet at the dealership. And we're going to go for a kind of a destination drive. If you think of Broncos Supercell, they do some destination drives, scenic drives. We're going to take a drive through some of the countryside, going down. We're thinking about going to the waterfall. And those that struggle with walking down through the stability of that, because is it kind of a downhill to get there? I would say the first part, the about 5 minutes it takes to go across the dam, where you can see it from the top, isn't too bad. Going down further, another 5 minute down, that is pretty steep coming down, and to see it from the bottom. But also you can see it from the top, and then you can go, oh, you know what? There's not much water. We can head back. So the thought is to get there, do a picnic. Those people wanted to go and check out the waterfall can check that out. We'll have a picnic, tailgate down picnic, because most people will be coming with a Maverick. So we'll do a tailgate.
Broncos can do it too.
Yeah, Broncos can do it. I got a table on my Bronco. But also we're going to get, we would probably need to know who always wants to come to that, so we can get you, we're going to do Jimmy John box lunches. So they do sandwiches. We'll have to let you guys know options and everything for those, with chips and that kind of stuff. And then we'll get beverages. We'll bring a cooler and bring beverages and everything.
Yeah.
And we'll do that. And then on the way back, since there is no restroom at the lake area, is that we'll go there, do a sack lunch. We'll hit, there's a Sap Brothers. It's like a big convenience store with a restroom on the way back. So then people can hit the restroom, and we can just take the highway, which is a quick way back. So that was the thought. Be back here this afternoon for the member live stream. For those that can't come, we'll do a member live stream like we did last year. And then for members, we'll do a dinner as well on Friday. So that's Friday.
Saturday, Law McArthur does a monthly Cars and Coffee, and they trying to invite a different car club each month. So for August, we thought it would be fun if we had the Maverick meetup featured at Cars and Coffee. So we'll have like the Maverick Truck Club banner, and we'll have the Maverick Truck Club there, represented by our Maverick meetup.
But any vehicle can come. That's why we wanted to make this a little bit different than just doing a Maverick event of having other, because there's some people like, well, I would have came but I have a Bronco, or I have this or that. So great, bring whatever you have. It doesn't have to be a Maverick. Maverick, the Maverick group can still, we're going to kind of have a section for the Mavericks, but put Broncos there. Whatever you're bringing, just put it out there for people to see what you have.
Because while we do the car clubs, everyone is welcome. If they have a classic car or car that they want to show off, they are welcome to bring it to any of our Cars and Coffee and show it off.
I think in maybe July, I'll do a video on our Cars and Coffee to give people an idea of here's what club is here, but here these other people also came and hung out, and we do, like I said, Cars and Coffee. So it'll be coffee here. That week we'll also have like some donuts or something like that, something for breakfast. So come without breakfast, come get breakfast there, coffee, hang out. We'll hang out as long as you want, and then people can go get lunch or whatever, and then just don't really have plans for the afternoon.
But I did.
So some people will head back. So
I have a forum for people to fill out that are planning to come to this meetup. You just go to the post tab on our YouTube page, and you can fill that out. That should give us a good number count if everyone's filling one out. Let's see. I put on there that we might have a tentative destination drive for Saturday if we have enough people interested. So, if we have enough people sorry, if we have enough people that are interested in driving on Saturday and not just heading out on Saturday, then we can certainly do a destination drive that afternoon. But if not, we won't.
Because we
plan
have
it.
also Coronado Heights, so it's not too far.
Yeah,
That might be
that's
kind of fun. It's historic, kind of a
it's
site too.
10 minutes up there
Yep.
from McArthur, and then
Yep.
it has trails, it has scenic views. It's really pretty. It has a castle that
Yep.
you can explore.
So so go to our YouTube channel.
Yep.
Law McArthur YouTube channel, and then you can, if you go to community tab, that's where you'll see this right here. That actually says members only.
One is members
okay,
only.
there you go. So you see this post down here, and we can. Oh, you can't pin it, can you?
No,
Okay.
you cannot pin.
We don't post a lot anyway, as you can see. So it'll be kind of here at the top. So go into that. If you're a member, go in there as well. If you're coming to the member dinner, then
I
fill
have
that
one for members and I have one for everyone else.
Yep. So you don't have to be a member.
No.
Like I said, we're gonna do a special dinner for members, and depending on how many members are coming and how many people are coming, we might open it up for everybody.
Mhm.
We'll just see how things go. But we know we're gonna do a restaurant. We want to overwhelm them. But there we go. Last year it was member dinner, but yeah.
Which last year we
was almost everybody that came was a member.
Right, but we almost couldn't get the venue we wanted because it was First Friday downtown. So we have to be mindful about that.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Are they doing that this year?
Downtown has First Fridays. Yep.
When they do that, like right beside where we're getting Prickly
right.
Pear.
So they do live music at the Prickly Pear. They also do live music at the stage down at the end by the alley. All the shops are open late that night for vendors and their shops. So that way it gives people a chance to explore downtown in an evening setting. Yeah. I participate in First Fridays. So, yeah.
All right. Okay. But
So
we
that'll
hang
be
out.
going on
I
that
mean,
night.
and we want to be included in this because we enjoy talking to you guys and to the community. We enjoyed going to Carlisle and talking to everybody there. And we, when we go to different events and such. So definitely we want to, don't feel like, you're taking our time or whatever. We want to chat with you and hang out that Saturday. We'll hang out as long as people want to chat with us that Saturday and Friday as well. So we want to do this with you, and it's have a lot of fun too. So that'll be good. So
Geralt asked, "Are you going to have an arrangement for getting our cars washed up after the drive to the meetup?"
We can do is we do have a car wash here on site that you can go through if you want. It is not a what do they call it?
Not a touchless. It has not brush. It's the foam ones.
Yeah.
Whatever it's called. I can't.
And we will pay for your car wash if you want after you go on the drive for the meetup, if you want to do that.
And I can have chamois ready to help people chamois off their cars and make sure they look bright and shiny.
Yep. We can do that for Saturday. Yeah. I've done that this last Saturday, I think, or the last Cars and Coffee. I did that. I drove it through the car wash and chamoised it off.
Treatment. I went and cleaned his car personally by hand.
So we have one here. Plus, we do have a club car wash just down the road if you'd like to go do that, which is where I take mine through a lot because that one will get the bugs off the front. Really good.
I do not recommend club car wash or any of the other ones except for Studios where you're hand washing it yourself.
There's one of those too.
Only because Lebo, who does our ceramics and Pro Packs, he has seen micro scratches appearing on wheels of the people that work here that are going through club car wash. So he does not suggest club car wash or the other bigger ones around here just because he's seeing micro scratches in wheels and paint jobs on the vehicles.
Well, and that's possible with if there's dirt and rocks and stuff in your tires and that kind of stuff, it's going to pick some of that stuff up, especially if it's a brush, because those actually are the little things that go over it.
Yes.
And they don't
but some of them do the sides.
The one of ours is worse than club.
Lebo actually suggests ours over club because Brett does go over there. Our guy goes over there and washes it weekly, I believe. He sprays it off and everything, make sure it's in good standing, but Lebo does suggest ours over Club Car Wash.
There you go. Okay.
From our professional ceramic detailer.
There you go.
Just so y'all know.
Yeah.
But Stu Joe's is here.
We
in
got
town.
you. We got you covered. There's plenty of options for you, and we do have one it's called Stu Joe. It's kind of like it's basically you can wash it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So that
has
is
a
all.
power washer and whatnot. So
and we can get you all kinds of chamois and stuff that you need.
Mm-hmm.
So if you need one of those. All right. So yeah, we will have for members. We'll do prickly pear like we did last year, which was really good. I can't remember what all we had there,
but
it
was so good.
And then Jimmy John's. We'll have different. I don't know. I know they do like some stuff for our lunches sometimes where it's boxed up. It's a sandwich or half a sandwich or full sandwich, and then chips and such, and we'll get drinks. And then, but there's different ones like a turkey or there's they're Italians, whatever. But we'll get that all figured out.
Which as we get closer, if we have few enough people, I can always try and take orders beforehand.
Do that. So yeah, we're gonna take care of like all that. So like Saturday, like the for the members, the dinner, we're covering the cost of that. For the lunch, for the destination drive, I mean, we can cover the cost of that. If people want to pitch in, they can. It doesn't matter. We'll take care of people. We want them to just come here and have fun. You're gonna pay enough with gas and hotels and all to get here. We want you don't have to worry about any expenses for the destination drive lunch, or if you're a member, the dinner that night.
It can be hard to travel with food.
Breakfast the next morning, we got you covered. So there you go.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. That's that. Now to my rant.
Yeah. We do have some questions, but
okay.
Do you
I got a quick little rant I want to rant about. All right. So this week, your grandpa, he has a 2021 Ford F-150, has the Sync 4, he gets it's a Lariat, so he has the navigation for 3 years. You get 3 years, and then after that, you have to pay for navigation. And where he's struggling right now is how to do it. So I want to go show him how to go ahead and do that. So I'm actually going to pull up the screen here. Let me get over here to Ford.com first. All right, so share this tab, share it. We're going to do it this way so you guys can see me. All right, so Ford.com is how you would go into so there's several different services you get from Ford that are included. They give you these trials so you can so you like it and you'll love it and you'll want to continue with it. And then you got to sign up, right? So one of those is navigation. One of those is Blue Cruise. And I don't know, I think there's another one. But to get into that for you, you can go up here to this account, this little person up here, and you sign in. And then once you sign in, you're going to see it's right back to the website. So then click up here again. At that point, you want to go to your account, or you can view dashboard, whatever. From there, if you view the dashboard, might be a different location. It would pull up the different vehicles in here. So like this in here shows my Bronco right there. So if you keep scrolling down and you have different quick checklists right here, if you keep scrolling over, software update, that kind of thing, my Ford rewards, need more points, connected services right here. So you can view your subscriptions. When you click on that, then it pulls that up. And then I think it gives you options of different vehicles that you have and what you want to go and talk about, what subscriptions you want. So in this in here, I was on my Bronco, so it automatically pulled that up for me. And you'll see connected navigation. So in the Bronco mid package, you get 1 year of navigation, not 3. That was the built-in connected navigation got you 3 years. But then after that, the free subscription, then you actually have to show, like mine says, it's available. Great. So you can sign up for it. Also, you get premium connectivity, gives you favorite music, podcasts, audiobooks, and all that. Well, guess what? You can activate and you can pay for that. Alexa is built in, get that for 3 years, but that's going to expire on the 25th. And then I'd have to sign up for that as well. If you have an electric vehicle, then you have, or one that has Blue Cruise, guess what? You also have Blue Cruise which you can sign up for. So these are all called connected services. So like for my dad, he wants to get the navigation. He'd have to go into his account, click this app, activate after his 3 years is up, and to activate that. So it shows you like this connected navigation. If I want a 1-year plan, it's $80 for navigation. $80. Again, let's do the math. $80 divided by 12 months. You guys probably have it in your head is okay. It's only $6 a month. Not that bad. Or I can use Android Auto for free. I'm sorry, but Android Auto is so slick and easy to use, or Apple CarPlay, either one. And it's free. Just plug your phone in or connect your wireless phone to your Sync 4 system, and you have free navigation. So I don't know, but your mom does like this better. She does not actually like using Android Auto. I do. I like how it works and looks and everything else. So, like with this, I had said, why don't we have navigation? I said, because we got 1 year and then after a year it expired. So I didn't sign up for it because I just been using Android Auto on our trips. I don't want to pay the $80. Now, again, to me, this is not a service that I feel is worth the $80 when I can use my phone for free.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think? I don't know.
I will say we had trouble with it on our way to Colorado.
Or you can
Android
use
Auto.
it. You can use your Ford Pass points.
True.
You can only use 16,000 points. Is that what it's saying?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Use up to 16,000 points.
So you can use some of your points, but not all of your points. I have 38,000 points. Why can't I use 38,000? Ford, come on. I earned those points. Trust me. I earned those. Hard. Service, bring a vehicle for service.
Wait. How many points is $80?
Okay, so $200 is, or 200 points is $1. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So if it's $80, it's 16,000 points. So okay, so it's saying it's 16,000 points. Okay, so yes. You can use all your points. All right, now I feel a little bit better. But there you go. So 80,000. So you can use your points instead. So okay.
Like, wait a second.
So that's not so bad. I mean, but I want to use my points for something else. But there you go. So yeah, you can use your Ford Pass points. So I don't know how many points you get for an oil change. Some people don't have the credit card like I do. I have the credit card. That's why I've had so many points, is that I use it like a debit card kind of and pay it off at the end of every month. But there's an option. So, and then like we talked earlier, you have the Blue Cruise, which would be not $6 a month, but $60 a month. So that's really expensive. So it's all these connected services. And then I don't know, I don't use Alexa, but how much is Alexa going to cost me if I want to get it? Blue Charge Network, I don't think it costs. It's just got to sign up for it. I don't know, what's this premium connectivity, right? It's $10 a month for premium connectivity. I think I do pay $10 a month for, I pay $10 a month for Sirius Satellite, something like that. But is this kind of the same thing? Playlist, interactive. I don't want to do video games in my Bronco. Podcasts, other than Ford Video Guy. But again, podcasts, I can plug my phone in, Android Auto. I have Spotify.
I don't even need that. My phone connects to my C-Max wirelessly, and I have my audiobook.
Well, I like to plug in versus doing the Bluetooth, because sometimes it doesn't connect well when I first get in.
No problem with my Bluetooth and my C-Max.
Well, so I'm a person that I do not have. Here, let me go back to the screen.
You don't have your Bluetooth on.
I do not turn my Wi-Fi or my Bluetooth on my phone. Like right now, it is turned off.
Well, but I use headphones so often to block out the day-to-day noise.
Well, that's, yeah, I get that.
Like for me, mine's always on because I connect either my headphones are connected or my car's connected. I always have a connection on my Bluetooth.
Okay, because for those of you that know, if you have Bluetooth or Wi-Fi on, people can hack into your phone.
Yes.
If they know what they're doing and they're in that area and they find your phone via Bluetooth or Wi-Fi, if you have it on, they can get into your phone. They can hack into your phone. So that's why I leave mine off if I'm not connected.
Make sure that I have one headphone out connected to my Bluetooth, so then I'm always covered.
Yeah, well, and so what I do in mine is if I plug it in, it automatically then connects, turns everything on. It automatically turns my Bluetooth on to connect to my vehicle. I found sometimes if I turn the Bluetooth on and then get in the vehicle, it doesn't always connect wirelessly, and then once you get started, you can't do it without shutting it off, and that drives me nuts. So plus I'm charging. I have found that if I use Android Auto to for my navigation, and I don't have it plugged in, which we did that on a trip, it just all of a sudden died halfway through the day because it does wear down on your battery if you're using wirelessly. So a lot of times I'll plug in because it stays completely charged up.
Yeah.
So that's the other reason I do that. But that's me. That's the way I use it. But there you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, connected services. I don't know. There's a lot of, some of that stuff probably they're not making a lot of money on. It's probably just they have to make contracts with these different companies like Alexa and everything, probably. So that's probably just paying for some of that fee that they pay to them, passed on. This premium connectivity is $10 a month. That's not that much. There's something I was paying $10 a month for. I can't remember what it was. But anyway, yeah. Now Blue Cruise though, the hardware's already there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Just a software thing, right? I don't know. There you go. There's kind of my rant. I just think that, the app is free, but some of these connected services like navigation cost you extra. But I think it was that way back before when it was like before it was Sync 3. It was, what was that called? The My Ford Touch. I think back then you got navigation, but then your navigation, you had to have a little SD card or something you put in, and you got a new map. And you had to pay for that, and that was pretty pricey too.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Or you just never
updated. Maybe I'm ranting about something I don't need to, but there you go. So, but if you're thinking about it and you're like, hey, instead of this, and then somebody else mentioned AT&T. So if you want the Wi-Fi hotspots, you got to sign up for a subscription with AT&T to get the Wi-Fi hotspots if you want.
Yes.
I don't do that. We have unlimited data on all of our plans on all of our phones, so we just go that way. But there you go.
Android Auto gives you speed trap notifications, slow down accidents, real-time alternates, and is more robust.
Yes, I would agree.
But Midcoast Spain hasn't seen where it can give weather like Sirius Travel Link.
Okay, so and again though, that takes a subscription.
Yes.
So you get it for so long. When you sign up, you have to sign up for, I think, when you sign up for Sirius, right? You get that with the navigation, you get the Sirius traffic and traveling. That is kind of cool. I will admit that. I used to like that a lot. You could actually see there was I remember a trip in our expedition one time where we were driving across and we saw, oh my, there's a storm coming through. And we stopped before so it could come through, and then we went on. And it was because that was on the Sirius that was on there. They'd come in handy. But
was that Sirius? I thought we were using my Google Maps.
No. Well, no, maybe we were for that, but no, years ago when we'd go on family trip, we'd come back from Lawrence, and that I saw that map. I went to that weather map. I'm like, hey, that's not looking good, and I saw where it was coming through, and we kind of went slow, so it passed through, and then we could continue on. So there is some benefit to that, but there you go.
I know on the way back from Colorado, my phone alerted to severe weather. Like my Google Maps alerted to severe weather up ahead. Do you remember that? I don't know how I activated that. I don't know where it went or if I was in beta testing or something. But when we came back from Colorado last September, it alerted us to severe weather because then we saw that there was hail and we actually stopped until the hail passed us.
Yeah.
But I have no idea how I did that.
I don't know.
No idea.
Yeah. Well, then there's the other thing. Sirius. We have 3 vehicles. I think on one of them, I decided, I'm not going to pay for the Sirius. I didn't get it. They kept getting me cheaper and cheaper and cheaper plans. I think at one point it was a $5 a month or whatever. And I'm like, I'm not going to use it. I'm just going to use for me, in my daily driver vehicle, I usually drive, that I use Spotify. I actually have a playlist on Spotify. It's certain artists that I like. It's ones that it's music like his on Spotify, and I just plug in. I on the Maverick Sync 3, so I do plug in. I just plug it in, and Spotify plays my playlist, and that's what I listen to on the way to work and home and everything. And so I don't need the Sirius, so I didn't sign up for it.
Yeah. See, Brandon, I have used Waze before, but I don't use it only because I had a bad experience. We were trying to get to the pumpkin patch, which, by the way, I know the way, but I was like, let's just use Waze so I can see what time we're gonna get there, and it got us lost. It doesn't do well with country roads. It does well with other roads, but country roads it does not do.
So Joseph said it's Google Weather NWS, National Weather Service. So you maybe had that on or whatever.
I might have.
Yeah. Now, one of the things you can do if you have a couple vehicles is you could sign up for Sirius on one vehicle.
Yes.
Right. And sign up for the service where you get the app service included. And then on your phone, on the other vehicle, you can go with the Sirius. So you plug in using Android Auto and you get the Sirius app on there. So then you get Sirius on that vehicle used through the Android Auto. That's a little kicker behind that little tip if you want to go outside that.
You just told everyone about that. They're gonna discontinue allowing people to do that.
It's the app. I mean, it allows you to get. It's like it's the premium service of Sirius that gets you all the channels, and then also get you the app for free. So you can listen to it on your phone. Because I used to, while mowing, I used to listen to like NFL sports games and everything in the fall, and so I would do that with the Sirius app while I'm mowing the yard or whatever. But then if you use Android Auto, then you get that on. It comes over just like Spotify app. Which Spotify for a long time I did. I did the ads. Now I do pay like the Spotify. I think I pay like $5 a month or something. So I have no ads. So because for me, it was like it's only like a 15-minute drive to work. And so inevitably I'd be driving along and an ad would play for like halfway there. And I'm like, dang, I only have a little bit of time to get jamming here and get in the mood.
There are only certain radio stations I listen to on my way to work if I listen to radio station. And it's because they have less ads than others, because no doubt my entire trip would be ads.
Yeah. Anyway.
They're like, oh, we do an hour of music, no ads. Well, yeah, but you do like 5 minutes, 10 minutes of ads before that.
Yep. Now, Android or the Google one does warn you of accidents too. I don't use Waze, but some people do. Now, I think Android Auto also shows you the speed thing on it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I kind of like that too.
I like the speed thing.
And one of them, the way I think now the Google one shows you your speed too, doesn't it? Maybe only if you have it on the phone, not on the screen.
No, it shows you on the screen.
On the Android Auto?
Yeah.
I can't remember. Anyway.
That's how I found out that my C-Max is off on the speedometer.
Yep. Clearance. I'm old school. If I don't know where I'm going, why am I going there? Yeah. I actually have I have the book for the different trails, because back up there you lose internet access to be able to get it to see the maps on your phone, but you can download the maps from onto your phone. But it's kind of nice having the hard paper, trails that tell you where to go and everything when you don't have service. It's kind of nice knowing that. But yeah, there's times where I'll look ahead. Hey, how am I going to plan this trip? When I went to Tennessee, I wanted to go down through Arkansas and like, okay, I want to go this way. And I realized it was an extra 2 hours if I went that way. And I was like, oh, that'll put us there in the dark. And so like change, you got to start planning your route and everything. But yeah, that's what's fun. So that's the other thing about this, talking about different road trips is, planning out your trip, where are you going to stop? Where are you going to go? Make sure you if you're going to go someplace, go through someplace, look and see what's in that area and, go see something. I know that Ridgeview did that, when he came through here, he, on the way back, he went through Branson, I think, and went down there and had some fun down there. And he's gone to some other places and made a trip of it, made some scenery.
Yeah. We saw Arquib.
Yes, he did. So that's always fun. Like I was looking at that when we're going to New Hampshire right, coming up. So I was like, hey, so I want to go down to, we're going to go to New Hampshire. I'm like, man, we're real close to Vermont. We got to go over to Vermont.
Google Maps once gave me a kayak option to get from Honolulu to Los Angeles. I love that. I love
Kayak.
that.
Well, you know, when you go on the Google Maps, you can actually say if you're in a car or if you're on bike or by. One time I went like, I'm like, why is it going to take me 3 hours to go that far? Oh wait, I'm on walk. let's go to drive.
I once did that.
Yeah. So next week we're going to New Hampshire. So we'll live stream Tuesday night and then we'll fly out Wednesday, get there, hang out with Ridge, go to the Bronco or go to the off rodeo in New Hampshire, which will be my 4th one. And I heard that you can get a special patch for that. And then we'll, I think Johnny's coming down. So we'll be with Johnny on Thursday night and then fly out Friday afternoon, get back here Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be fun.
Yeah, should be.
Gonna do some off-roading in the Bronco.
Yes. Am I driving?
Yeah.
Since you've already been to how many?
Yep. And you know that these are the dealer ones, so it's not quite the same. Right. But what I do like about the dealer one is they don't go through there's a lot of ones where they go through and talk about, you know, the Bronco Badlands has a sway bar disconnect and how here's a situation where you'd use it and it levels it out. And it goes through some of that technology and when you use a front locker versus a rear locker and engage in that and you see it do this, the trail turn assist and all that. So they do all the technical stuff before and they spend a good time with that. Whereas this one on these for the dealer, they don't go through that because you get half of a day. Mm-hmm. So they'll feed us lunch just like they would to the people that were there, customers the people that would come and pay for that. And then you go out on them. Basically, you do a very thing about, okay, we're going to talk about approach and departure angle. And then now we're getting out on the trail. And then they go through it in the vehicle with you. So because they assume the dealers that are there are selling the Broncos. So they know the technology behind it already. Yeah. So then they'll just get in it and they'll go over it. And it'll be a lot like the drives that we took with Brian and Melissa in Colorado. It'll be just like that.
When I was first talking about going to off rodeo, I was like, I wouldn't want to go unless I'm spending a full day. Because we had talked about if you're a non-Bronco owner, you can go, but it's only half a day. And I said, if I go, I don't want to do half a day. But then you mentioned that I've basically done what they do in that first half of the day, and that it would benefit more from doing the dealer type where you just get in and go. Because I've done enough. Yeah.
Which I think they're going to start doing that. They actually did some half-day things, and that's basically what they're saying is you already have a Bronco, you bring your Bronco, or you do the Bronco off-rodeo half day and you come in and you already know you've already been to an off-rodeo. You've been through all that. We're just going to get out and go out on the trail. Yep. And that's kind of what this is about. This is kind of like, and then you end the day, you can go to the merch, buy some merch and all that. And then that's how you end your day. So anyway, so
Which I feel like I would be bored if I was, because I truly am a learner by doing than a learner of watching. I didn't learn how to drive a manual until I actually got in the driver's seat and did it. So for me, sitting around at a meeting, I tend to doodle because I can't focus unless I have something in my hands or I'm doing something. Mm-hmm. So for me to sit there and listen to them talk about it,
they kind of it's more than that, but you wouldn't be bored. But I went to the one for dealers, the one in down in Texas. Mm-hmm. And that was a full day. So that was a really similar to what the customers and the people that pay for it are going to experience. Yeah. And it did the whole thing. So I got a chance to pretty much do off rodeo there. Yes. So then when we went, then I did the dealer one and we did the condensed version, which is what we're going to do in Nevada. But then we did it as a family with you, with me, your mom, and Jeff. Yes. And I actually was a little bored because I'd been through it already once, but they hadn't. Right. So they went through some of the technical stuff and the introduction and that kind of stuff and some of the stuff. But what I liked about Utah is that they do all the technical stuff like in Texas. And I don't know how New Hampshire does it or Nevada, but they do the technical stuff at a certain spot around the ranch and then they go off-roading.
Okay.
Well, in Utah, they go off road and they do the stuff on the trail. So they
Okay.
go through here's a spot where we're going to teach you this in
Right.
this spot. And then we're going to move on to this other one and we're going to teach you that there. Instead of
Which
doing it all at once at the beginning, you do it sporadically throughout the
it
day.
might speak to the instructor's teaching.
I think they're
type?
all instructors are the same way. It's
Okay.
That's how that one's made because they don't have.
Okay.
So most of the locations they have an area where they can put that off to the side and do.
Mhm.
Utah they don't because they're on that lodging area.
Right.
It's pretty much just a building where they can talk about some of the stuff and then they're out on the trail.
Okay.
And so basically they just use they know different spots in the trails to do those different things.
Yeah.
So
Henry Sawyer says, but you can win stickers.
yes, you can win stickers. Now they don't the dealer ones, they don't really do
No.
that. They won't do the
Yeah.
sticker thing at the dealer ones, but yeah. But I do like like when we went to Nevada, like, okay, this is fun. I didn't think it would actually be on the trail that much. I thought they were going to do a very smaller, condensed version of going through the technical stuff. We're going to do all of that. And then we're going to have just like an hour or something on the trail. And no, it was like 2 to 3 hours on the trail, which was a lot of fun. So this will be a lot of fun for both of us.
Yeah.
So especially since we both kind of been off-roading already and gone through it.
So Joseph said, did we do what's in that cup? We did not because Niles is not here to remind us, and Brandon jumped in late.
All right, so I have water with G Fuel powder.
Hey, that's what I had.
It is Galaxy Grape powder and with water. So
Oh, you have Galaxy.
gives you a little bit. It's not like the energy. It's not like the energy cans. So it's different.
About this one.
But so it's more water based. So it gives you a pick me up. It's not really. It says energy formula, but there you go. All right, there's that. Okay, questions. I think you said you had some, but
yes, we have 15. 14. Sorry. I keep finding ones that I'm like, we don't really. Okay. Diabetic asks, when picking up people from the airport, do you think I could get more or fewer suitcases in the Maverick bed than I could in a minivan with the back row folded flat?
I don't know.
Depends.
Probably
do you have a topper on the bed?
Yeah, the Maverick depends on how much over the rails you want to go.
Yeah. The minivan has a limit, but it's tall.
And depends on if that third row folds flat into the floor or if it just folds the backrest down. Some minivans.
True. How does the 23 mach-e compare to the 24 mach-e?
Well, the much more enhanced range is better, and the power is your horsepower is significantly upgraded. Most of them got about a 40 to 60 horsepower increase over the previous model year. So they all have been boosted by their performance. So, and then that performance pack. So I think here, let's look up. Actually, I was curious on that because I was curious on what it was. So does it break it down from each of the different ones? That's what I want to know. Here, Car and Driver did one. 23 mach-e. Here. Okay, so the GT and GT Performance models combine like 480 horsepower and 634 pound-feet of torque. Right, so that's the GT gets 480 in 2023, and 634 pound-feet of torque. So even like I think the lower one models get like 346 horsepower, it says, and so it's not quite as quick. Now go to the 24. They're still going off of old numbers. There's an article about this. Oh, it shows the rally. I'm Do they show the performance? Because I think it's 600 now. It actually still has the numbers from the year before, so 480. So that is not an updated article. So might have to look for Ford's article about it. There we go. Go to Ford.com for that. So power and handling. Oh, nope, that doesn't have it there either. Actually, doesn't show it. I believe it's 600 horsepower, if I'm right, on the GT and the GT and the GT Rally. So it's much more significant. So
Okay. Were you still going on the mach-e one?
Yeah, I was looking at it up. I think it's 480 was the horsepower on the GT in 23. And then in 24, it's now 600 with the performance bag.
Wow.
So it's quite a bit more. It's like over 100. So a lot of them got anywhere from 60 to 100 horsepower increase for 24.
All right. What are your thoughts on Ford Protect extended warranty coverage? Looking to extend warranty coverage to max. Have you had 23 Bronco or have had my 23 Bronco for 1 year and have 33,000 miles already?
I think it's a good idea for an extended warranty. I don't have one on my vehicles. I'll probably get one on the Bronco, but I don't have one on the other vehicles because we usually do trade before we get to 36,000 miles on most of our vehicles. I like to just have a different vehicle, and I don't know, that might change here shortly. We'll see. But I had the Lightning for about a year. I had the Mach-E or the Maverick for about a year. I was hoping to get this Mach-E. We'll see if payment works out for about a year. I like to get the newer models and drive them for a while and really get the chance to drive them. But on the vehicles, if you're going to keep it over those 36,000 miles, cost of fixing things right now and service wise is really expensive. Parts are expensive. Labor's expensive. So I really recommend, if it's something you're going to keep longer than 3 years, I encourage you to probably get a warranty, because it'll probably over the longevity of the vehicle will probably save you money, because it only takes one transmission, one bad motor or something, and you've paid for that.
You're also in a Bronco, so if you're off-roading at all.
Well, there's some special off-road warranty you can get, and that's for like to protect like the wheels and tires. So it helps them. But even if you're not, I mean,
well, if you take it off-roading and you push the engine a little bit too far, your belt might, you might have the part that breaks sooner than you would expect.
Those parts, would be protected under this. But if you break, But anyway, I would. Like I said, if you're gonna have it for more than 36 for 3 years, it's not a bad idea, because I would say costs of repairs right now are outrageous. They're really high, and it's now. I think warranties are probably at a high right now too, but still not a bad idea. We buy insurance, right? Just saying. In case you get in a wreck, you buy insurance. It's kind of the same principle.
All right. Speaking of the title of tonight's episode, many Ford dealership employees think the Flex is an excellent long-distance trip vehicle. Mrs. Voles thinks they're ugly. I've been in a few, and the seats rule. The Flex I don't like the look of it, but it's a great vehicle, especially for storage.
Well, and the seats, a lot of people love the legroom they have in them. The headroom is amazing. Those seats are nice and wide. People, they say they're very comfortable.
I call it the cross between the Transit Connect and the minivan.
Yeah, Flex is a pretty good vehicle. So they sold really well in California, but gotta make sense.
Just joined. When will 24 Super Duty, F250, F350 order banks close and 25 order banks open? Yeah, we didn't really go over any of that because we don't know. So there's only 2 models they've actually told us that are switching over: the Escape
and the Mustang, and that's it. So we don't know on any of the others yet. Somebody said that Ford marketing on said the F-150 is going to be opening up in August, but I have no confirmation of that.
Yep. Is it true EVs have no break-in period?
I mean, really, to be honest, none of the vehicles really have a break-in
Not
period.
anymore. I mean, maybe your Mustangs or your high-end vehicles where you're getting premium fuel, and your diesel trucks might need a bit of
I haven't
babying.
I haven't
at
done
first.
I haven't done any kind of break-in on any of my vehicles and haven't had any issues. Expedition, we just boom went out.
But I could see there needing to be a break-in period for like your Super Duties and diesel engines before you take it high speeds on the highway. There might be, but
most of those vehicles that used to be a thing,
yeah.
but it's not anymore. I've kind of asked around, and they're like, no, there's no break-in
like
period
how,
anymore.
What was it last week? We mentioned something that Grandpa had mentioned. Oh, you this and this, but those were older motors.
Yeah, shouldn't. I mean, anymore. Especially
these are newer motors.
Especially a lot of your no, especially the electric vehicles. They don't need any. It may take a little while to get to learn how you drive for your range being accurate. Now that might take a little while for that to get in check for your range. Now, of course, your range can vary based on your speed and the wind as well, and they'll have to adjust on the fly too. But in a way of electric motors and battery, that there's no break-in for any of that.
Mm-hmm. All right. Alan says he's going from hitting the Lincoln Highway from Fallon, Nevada to Colorado, crossing the desert in late July.
Wow. Make sure you make it through there. And then late July is going to be hot.
Douglas Blair says Ford Pass app, good for roadside assistance.
There you go. So I think I figured out on that. Did you see that Apple released, there's something went on this week, and they made a big deal that the new Ford Pass app was highlighted in their some new control panel on iPhones. So now on an iPhone, you can have a control panel that has some of this like stuff you use often or something. And being able to start your vehicle and do the climate is one of those things that can be on that control panel. But I think that couldn't have happened without the new update. So Ford might have worked with Apple to have that work on the new app, on the iPhone new platform or whatever, new update. So got a feeling, because I know a while back Farley made a big deal that we are not dropping Apple CarPlay and Apple, the connectivity to Apple products like some are. So that kind of probably, now that we see it, was them working with Apple to say we want our app to be able to go, kind of like on the Apple Watches, you can actually start your vehicle from your Apple Watch, as well as get the climate and everything. So that's same thing on the control. I think they call it the control panel or something for the iPhones. That came out this week too. So here we are. We were complaining about the new app and everything. For those that have an iPhone, that might be a benefit, and why they went to this new update and why they dumbed it down a little bit. I say dumbed it down, took out some features, okay, and are going to slowly bring them back, is so they can integrate into probably the iPhone. But you know what? I don't have an iPhone, so I don't care. But it's cool. I still think the technology is cool. So
yeah. I will say, Ford, the roadside assistance for Ford, if you need to get through to them, because someone did break down on the side of the road. They tried calling Ford roadside assistance, and they said that they were, due to the influx of calls for a holiday weekend, they couldn't get to them. Well, they were on the highway blocking traffic in a construction zone, so they had to be towed. Ford will only reimburse up to $140 worth of towing expenses. But if you go through Ford roadside assistance, they will cover all of the towing. So that is just a distinction to be made for future reference. Try and get through to Ford roadside assistance. If you need to, try and push it to the shoulder, and then try and keep getting a hold of them and have them come take care of your vehicle.
There you go.
So, yeah. because he has about $1,000 in towing expenses, and only $140 will be reimbursed to him.
So Ridgeview has 4,000 miles on his Maverick already, and
Yes.
I have 3,500 on mine in a year. I guess it's been 9 months, but
Yeah, but you don't drive it as often, and he drove it from here to Maine.
yep, there's 2,000 right there. All right, what else going on?
Henry says you need an F450 4x4 crew cab platinum. He says, I must be special. Ford doesn't like me.
We haven't seen, we've seen.
Well, but he had trouble getting his Bronco Raptor. What's happening is you're ordering these builds that Ford doesn't like to build a lot of.
You like to be confusing, complex. No, just kidding. I can say that to Henry. We love Henry. So yeah, well, we've noticed. Okay, so 450s, we've had a couple come through,
but not a lot.
No, hardly any 450s arrive. We did get one limited platinum.
Seen a lot of F600s.
Yeah,
but those are all fleet.
Yeah. Well, I think, the thing of it is even if you downgraded to like a Lariat or whatever, it wouldn't matter. It's the 450 in general.
Yeah.
That's a killer on that. Doesn't matter what trim level you have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Ridgeview says his hybrid Maverick, no matter where he drives, it's always over 40 miles per gallon. With one exception, he went 75 miles per hour during break-in, and he was in the mid-30s. Yeah, I want a Maverick. I want a hybrid Maverick. Although I stay in the 30s now.
Well, here's the thing is highway driving, it's going to be whatever if you look at a hybrid and you look at the mileage, it'll show you city is 42 and it'll show you highway is like 27 to 30. And so it doesn't matter if you're in an EcoBoost or a hybrid, the highway is going to be about the same. Because that hybrid's not really being used on at 75. It's needing that motor to be turned on to maintain. So somebody asked that might be an idea for a Maverick Monday video. Is they were asking about how does the hybrid and the gas work together? How does it know when to turn what on and this and that? He wanted some of the technical stuff, and in a sense, for the most part, the EcoBoost motor. The engine is used it needs to help to move the vehicle. The hybrid is to help keep it moving. And so it doesn't need to use the motor if it's just trying to keep it moving, like at cruising speeds. But when you especially going up a hill or whatever with on the highway, that EcoBoost, the motor is going to turn on because it needs that power to move it. So it usually uses the engine to propel it and the hybrid to maintain it.
Yeah.
So that's why in the city it works so well, is because you don't have to get moving very fast, right? 30 miles an hour, 40, whatever it is. You don't need the engine using much to get to speed. And then you're cruising and you're stopping a lot. That's regenerating that battery back, right? And so that's why city, you get such good gas mileage in it. So.
Hitch tent looks way easier than rooftop tent. Now, if you're wanting to remove it and not have it on your vehicle all the time, a hitch tent is probably how you would want to go. Although while we were in Colorado, I did get to see a rooftop tent in action, and it was pretty cool.
I don't know, a hitch tent, does it just go on the hitch itself?
Yes.
I didn't think a hitch could hold that kind of weight.
So I actually saw, do you remember when I hosted on that Tuesday night?
Mm-hmm.
And I went through all the campers and tents and such. A guy has actually built a tent that, how you were talking about the kayaks can be put on the hitch and stand straight up? Mm-hmm. It's basically that, but on the Maverick hitch.
I don't know.
And then it folds down and folds out into a tent.
I don't know how much weight that could hold, though. Because technically anytime you have something on the hitch, that's your where the weight is. So if you have a 4K tow package, 400 pounds is the most you can put on that hitch.
400 or 4,000?
400. Okay. Right? So if you have a 4,000 pounds of towing, then your tongue, they call it tongue weight, which is where that hitch is.
Yeah.
The 400 is your max there. So if you have a 2K tow package, you're talking 200
now,
pounds.
You wouldn't leave it hitched. That's the thing. They have a leg that pops down, so then you aren't leaving it hitched.
Okay, if you have something to help support it along with
Yes.
the hitch.
So the only
then,
time
yeah.
the full weight of the tent is on it is when you're driving.
Okay, I'm gonna say because if you're in it, you're gonna. That's
That's
the
gonna
weight.
add weight.
The weight of the tent itself is probably one thing, and that's probably fine. It's
Yeah.
when you pull it out, you better have some support, or it's too much weight for that hitch.
Yeah. So it looks like they use hollowed out pipes for the frame and everything, and so it's a very lightweight system that's going to be on your hitch like a kayak would be, or just get a pop-up. Have you seen the ones that are like a pop-up camper but it's just a tent? So it's like a trailer. It's on a trailer, but it's a tent instead of a camper.
Yeah,
that too.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Which, if you are taking on and off of your vehicle or you don't want to attach to your vehicle constantly, a hitch option would be the best bet.
Well, have you seen some of those overlanding trailers behind Broncos? So it's got a tent on top, and then coming out the sides is your kitchen and stuff.
Yes.
Your galley and everything comes off of it. So you can have a canopy that comes out and over it, and then all this other stuff. So,
which when we were in Colorado, the people next to us, which by the way, weird coincidence, he's from Salina. He lives in Denver, but he's from Salina. Right next to us, and they had their SUV, but then they had like a trailer that in a non-enclosed trailer with a tent on top. So they have all their kitchen stuff, all their supplies in there, and totes secured, and then they have their tent on top that they tow behind their SUV.
Yeah.
I was like, that's what we need, Lebo.
If I'm gonna pull something, it's gonna be a camper that I don't have to set.
Well, but it's the two of them and a 2-year-old.
Okay, so like a trailer, like I have. Just saying. Okay.
Anyways, let's see. Was there hail at the rail yard in KC a few weeks ago? And do you know if there were any delays because of it? My path is probably sitting there, shipped 2.5 weeks ago to Iowa. Once your vehicle is in a rail car, it will stay in the rail car until it hits its destination. So even if there was hail in
but
KC,
Iowa's close enough. That's where the dealers in Iowa, they'll go to KC and then they'll ship out from KC to Iowa.
Okay.
Iowa's just north.
So yes, there was hail in KC. We have had several of our vehicles delayed.
Okay, so here's the skinny on that. There were, what did I hear? What was the number? I think there was like 50,000 vehicles that had to be checked over for hail.
Yeah.
So like 58,000 and like 50, like a significant amount of those, like over half of them were F-150s that were there because of the truck plant right in Kansas City. And so there were a lot of them that couldn't move on. Brandon's is one of them that couldn't be moved on because they had to be checked over before they could be shipped out.
Yeah.
So whether you have hail damage on it or not, they still have to inspect it. So if it was there when the hail came through, then it had to be inspected before it could be released. And even documented. They may not fix it, but they had to be documented so that the dealer could fix it. Because if, like, we had a couple that came in that had hail damage on it, well, they had documented that had hail damage. We fix it, send forward the bill so they can reimburse us, and their insurance had already covered that. So that's kind of how that worked.
Yeah.
So,
but that was 3.5 weeks ago.
Yeah, there's still some that probably could still be there.
Yeah, it could be backlogged. We think that when they're taking them off the rail cars, that they're putting them in like a line, and if they get too many of them, they aren't necessarily taking from the front, pushing forward. They're taking from the back and going out. So
I think Brandon's might have been held up a little bit, but it's one of those things where they knew it wasn't there. And so when the hail came through, but they had to kind of probably logistically look and make sure that, okay, this one wasn't here. So let's go ahead. Or I think his was in a rail car when the hail came through.
Yes.
So but they still had to inspect it and make sure it was okay. So.
Yeah, we think his was in a rail car because it wasn't off the rail till after that storm. And then when it got here, it had just missed a hailstorm. It got here the day after. And then if they had come and gotten it when they had planned to, it would have been at home during a major storm at their house, and their other vehicle was totaled.
Yeah.
So, is his truck lucky? I think so. Is there a way to track the rail car my F-150 is in? Not anymore.
Not anymore, yeah.
Your dealer
Now,
can go
yeah.
and look at its location.
There, you know what? I might have actually figured out how you can find the real car, because I was actually able to see on the mach-e what transport company was bringing that here. So it was, I noticed Jack Cooper was bringing it here, and I'm like, oh, that's the one that Ford just stopped using for a long time. So I was like, oh no. So that's probably why there's that hiccup there for a whole weekend, where it didn't just sat on a truck before it even got shipped out. Whatever. Anyway, it's here. But
are Ford pass points intermixable with Lincoln?
I don't know. I think they might be separate.
I know that we don't sell Lincoln anymore.
Well, did you see on mine when I had that up? It had Ford Pass and it had Lincoln, and they were separated.
Okay.
So I assume they're different. They're separated.
Brandon, we think that your vehicle is lucky because as long as it's with you, your surroundings will not be hit by a storm. Could be. So, all right, those were all the questions I had, and it is 9:58.
There's one. Did you get that one in there?
What one?
So you said there was a
I
Maverick grill that I missed that was on Maverick Truck Club on May 23rd.
Really?
So there may be 5 grills.
Oh, was that the Lobo?
But we did cover that one.
But did you cover that one in this Maverick Monday?
I showed the blue one with the body colored lower molding and everything. That's the ST version. That's the there's that one, and then the other 3 grills, that's 4. He said there's might be a 5th one. So
all right.
Well, I'd love getting a link if you want to send it to me, but
it's 9:59.
Oh wow. Okay. It is time to go. All right. We've been gone on and on and on.
Good discussion.
Yep. All right. I think that'll be it. So if you have any questions for us, of course, need some Maverick Monday ideas. I think I got something for maybe this next week. Hopefully we get some news soon and some other vehicles. We will be, looks like the 25 model year Escape order bank will maybe open up next week. So we might be talking about that in next Tuesday's live stream. And maybe next week be doing video on the different trim levels like I do on all my vehicles, which that's why I kind of want to see more of these come out, because I want to start doing these videos on what's on these vehicles and how you can order them for the different vehicles. So Escape's coming soon. We'll see what else is coming down the road. Hopefully this summer it could be busy. Anyway, so there we go. So all right, and then next week we'll have some footage from off-roadeo. So,
yes,
because I do want to do a video on what it's like at off-roadeo. I kind of did one after talking about it with some clips. This time I actually want to do some videos in there while we're driving. You driving, maybe me driving, and how hearing the instructors on what they're teaching you and everything through the intercoms. I want to kind of do a video kind of like that. And then maybe even a video on, hey, which one do I like the most? Mm-hmm. And which one, what are all of them like? Anyway, so you get a good idea of which one you want to choose if you get a Bronco and want to go to the off-roadeo. So anyway, all right, that's it. So all right. Till the next video. Here, hold on before I gotta get ready here. Stay positive, be kind to one another,
and be kind to yourself.
And we'll see you later.